At Clyde Ironworks, every bite starts from scratch. Fried ravioli, onion rings, wood-fired pizza, in-house beers, steak stone sizzling, pasta, pretzels, cannoli, all made by hand. Clyde Ironworks, where food is made from scratch.
With me today, we're gonna have a good time. You've convinced me. I'm ready to switch my account. Oh my gosh. Specific answer. They're learning quick. Can we Google it? Whatever. Okay. He's a quick study.
There's so many words I want to say.
Be careful. It is the love story.
You bet it is.
Fair.
I wasn't done.
Ask the questions that you think are silly. Thank you for joining. Bye.
I see a lot of just my friends vaping, and I see it like I hear about middle schoolers, high schoolers, elementary schoolers just vaping, and I just don't understand how such young people can get into such like an addictive substance, how they can just throw away time, money, health for what, nicotine? It really just doesn't make sense to me. And I feel like when I see my friends vaping and talking about how they spent this much money and how they've gone through this many vapes this week, just like really, it doesn't give me a positive outlook for them in the future if they can just get into such habits at such a young age.
There's nothing better than a Subway Series footlong, except when you add a new footlong sidekick, like the boss with a new footlong cookie. This might be my favorite sidekick ever. What?
Every epic footlong deserves a perfect sidekick.
Find your passion. Find your people. Find your purpose. Find your superior.
Vaping has almost become like an obsession addiction. It's got to be where I know where it is. If I leave, I have to have it with me. I guess the term would be I'm jonesing for it, the nicotine out of it. Never do it, to never even try it, because once you try it, it's like an addiction, and it kind of takes over your personality, that type of addiction.
At Clyde Ironworks, every bite starts from scratch. Fried ravioli, golden and crisp, onion rings battered fresh and fried to perfection, wood-fired pizza made from dough we craft each morning, beer brewed in-house, steak stone sizzling, pasta tossed fresh to order, warm pretzels, fresh filled cannoli, nothing frozen, nothing fake, just passion, patience, and heat. Clyde Ironworks, where food is made from scratch.
Are you serious? Yeah. So like you were talking, she was talking, and then we're always talking. What's the last one? Oh, yeah. And Mitch and I have like completely like
Yellow Jacket Hockey is on the air from Westman Arena on the campus of the University of Wisconsin-Superior, where this afternoon the Yellow Jacket women's hockey team is going to try to pick up their second win of the 25-26 campaign as they take on the Pointers of UW-Stevens Point. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Yellow Jacket Hockey pregame show sponsored by National Bank of Commerce, with locations in Superior, Poplar, Solon Springs, Esko, Hermantown, Hibbing, and Duluth. Make more possible with National Bank of Commerce member FDIC. I am John Garver. Happy to have you with us here this afternoon as the Yellow Jackets are getting ready to take on a Stevens Point team that is fighting a lot of the same battles that the Yellow Jackets are. Goals are a premium for both of these teams. There's been some difficulty scoring. There's been some difficulty on special teams. Two young teams that are going to be going at it here, and two young teams that are right on top of each other in the WIAC standings. The Yellow Jackets sitting in fourth place with 3 points. 6 big points on the table here this weekend, and if they can win those, they can climb within striking distance of Stevens Point, who's sitting in third place. They have 12 points. It's a two-horse race in the WIAC at this point in the season. UW Eau Claire sitting in first place with 24 points. UW River Falls is second with 21. And, oh, by the way, those two teams, both ranked nationally, are going to be taking each other on in a couple of games this weekend. So marquee matchups, if you will, between the Blue Golds and the Falcons. That one in addition to what's going to be happening here at Westman Arena. Yellow Jackets coming in with a record of 119-1, 1-7-0 in the WIAC. Stevens Point 10-11-0, 4-4 in the WIAC, but they've had a little bit of a difficult stretch here of late, having won just 2 of their last 10 games, those 2 wins coming last weekend against Beloit. So should be a good one here this afternoon. First of 2 here at Westman Arena, and hopefully the Yellow Jackets will find their way back into the win column for the second time in this campaign. We're going to take a quick timeout. We will come back, and on the Yellow Jacket Hockey pregame show sponsored by National Bank of Commerce, we will have our conversation with Yellow Jacket head coach Bree Simon. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. We're back on the Yellow Jacket Hockey pregame show sponsored by National Bank of Commerce. It's Friday afternoon. The Yellow Jackets back home getting ready to take on UW-Stevens Point in the first game of a 2-game weekend series. I am John Garver. We're joined by Yellow Jacket head coach Bree Simon. And Coach, being around the game as long as I have been, I understand this has been a difficult stretch. So, before we get into anything hockey related, how are you holding up? How are you handling this? Because I know you, and this has not been easy.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Just taking it day by day, honestly. It's hard when you're not winning games and trying to keep the group motivated and coming to practice every single day and, on the weekends having the energy and the boost to hopefully spark something. And, we're trying the best that we can, but obviously the scores are not reflecting how we're playing once again, which stinks. But I'm proud of the group for still showing up every day and doing their very best.
scores are not what you're wanting, and part of it, there is a silver lining here. You look at it, you're a top 10 team in terms of strength of schedule. You're not hiding from anybody. You're playing some very difficult teams. Some of that is built in because you have 2 teams in the top 10 in the nation in the WIAC, and they just so happen to be the teams you've seen the last 5 games. So the silver lining of that being, and this is going to sound, I think, a bit strange, the losses are there, but it feels like there is development and there's better quality of losses and something to build on. Am I wrong when I say that?
No, not at all. And that's where it's kind of more frustrating. We're not getting blown out of the water in every single game. We're in every single game. I mean, a couple weeks ago against Eau Claire on Friday afternoon, we were down 3-1, come back, tie it up, and then let in a goal with less than a minute left. So that's disappointing, and it sucks. I don't have much words. I always just tell the group, just play for 60 minutes, and the development is there. Everyone says it to me, and we're on the right path. We just got to find that extra oomph that will win us hockey games.
Oomph obviously can come in the form of goal scoring, and that has been a bit of a struggle for this team underneath 2 goals a game and everything. That being said, you're taking on a team now this weekend, UW Stevens Point, kind of going through some of the same things and same growing pains that your team has been. Yeah, it's going to be a tough battle this weekend. I told the girls all week in practice, it's going to come down to who does the little things, who is going to want it more, because they are very similar to us. They're a young team. They're in the growing pains. They're not scoring a lot either. So it's ultimately going to come down to who is going to make less mistakes and who's going to put the puck in the net. With your team, one of the things that has kind of plagued your team this year has been some penalty issues, and your team a little bit vulnerable on the penalty kill. That being said, they're not exactly letting things up on the power play either. So special teams battle, important this time of year, but how big a factor does that play for your team coming into this weekend? Yeah, I mean, our penalty kill has been pretty good, honestly. At least I think so. Yeah, better lately for sure. I mean, when you play really hard teams and not letting them score every single time on the power play or on their power play, it's crucial. It gives the bench energy, and it gives us a little bit of light and hope. It's going to be the same thing this weekend and tonight for sure. Not letting them have any chances on their power play. Hopefully we get a couple power play chances and can hopefully score on it. Our power play is not the best right now, which is disappointing. Granted, we don't get a lot of them, so the focus of it isn't there. I'm not too worried about special teams, to be honest with you. I'm more worried about the 5-on-5 play at this point. Biggest keys for your team today? Scoring and staying out of the box, like you said, and honestly just playing 60 minutes. And kind of what I said earlier is just doing the little things right. Who's going to get the puck out of our zone? Who's going to help Jada in net tonight? And who's going to ultimately be the powerhouse today? Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck. Thank you. Yellow Jacket head coach Bree Simon in her 2nd season behind the Yellow Jacket bench. Her counterpart is Ann Ninneman, who's in her 20th season as the head coach of the Pointers. 263 wins, 214 losses, and 50 ties, her all-time mark. As you heard Coach Simon say, Jada Moyer is getting the start in goal, making her 13th appearance on the season. A 5'5" freshman out of Albert Lea, Minnesota. Her record 0-11. She has the 3.70 goals against average and a nice .907 save percentage. So she's seeing plenty of rubber and making some saves, just hasn't had a whole lot of run support so far this season. Yellow Jackets coming into the game averaging 1.29 goals per game. On the other side, Stevens Point averaging 1.9 goals. So neither team lighting things up offensively here. The starting 5 in front of Jada Moyer tonight. The defense pair will be Stacy Steiner and Brooke Bugas, and the forward line will have Ashton Parnell centering Eiley Dahl on the right wing and Maya Anderson on the left. Starting in goal today for UW Stevens Point will be Emily Grieg, a 5'9" junior from Chesterfield, Missouri. She is making her 9th appearance on the season. She's 4-4, has a 2.50 goals against average and a very nice .934 save percentage. She is the starting goaltender for UW-Stevens Point here this afternoon. Starting lineups are being announced, and we are moments away from the national anthem and the drop of the puck in the first game of this two-game weekend series between the Yellow Jackets and UW-Stevens Point. That's going to do it for the Yellow Jacket Hockey pregame show, sponsored by National Bank of Commerce. When we come back, the opening face-off between the Yellow Jackets and the Pointers in this Friday matinee at Westman Arena. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. We're back here at Westman Arena, moments away from the start of this one between the Yellow Jackets and UW-Stevens Point. First game of a two-game weekend series. 4 games remaining, excuse me, for the Yellow Jackets here. It's fine. It's good. Yep. First of 4 games remaining in the regular season for the Yellow Jackets. All 4 of them on ice here at Westman Arena. A possible 12 points remaining, giving them an opportunity to jump up into that number 3 slot here in the WIAC standings. Yellow Jackets in the gray sweaters here this afternoon will be defending the goal 2 hour left. And they'll be attacking left to right here in the opening 20 minutes. Stevens Point has won 3 of the last 3 meetings, I should say, and 4 of the last 5. They have an edge in the all-time series, 44-38. And there have been 10 tie games. The puck is down. The Yellow Jackets win the opening faceoff. The opening faceoff is sponsored by Barker's Island Inn, Northern Wisconsin's Island Getaway. The puck now for across the red line, dumped into the Yellow Jacket zone. Brooke Bugas chases it down. Leaves it for Ashton Parnell. She'll flip that up the right wing boards. Now Parnell carries to center, loses the puck in the neutral zone. And it's going to be dumped back into Yellow Jacket territory. Anderle gets behind the defense, goes to the backhand. The shot is stopped by Moyer. Rebound. She had no idea where it was. Puck was actually behind her in the blue paint. Unfortunately for the Pointers, they don't get a stick on it. Now the Jackets back the other way. Eiley Dahl across the Stevens Point line, right circle, a shot, and Grieg makes the save with the blocker. So good opportunities each way here in the opening minute of play. Back the other way come the Pointers. Polkamp with a shot as she comes across the line. The save is made by Moyer. Yellow Jackets clear that one up the right wing boards, and it does come out into the neutral zone. Pointers break it back up, and it's going to be tipped back into Yellow Jacket territory. Veda Roski picks up the puck behind her net, passes it up the left wing. Addison Fee for the Yellow Jackets ahead to center. Gustafson comes across the Stevens Point line. Kendall Gustafson on the left wing, carries down to the left corner. Plays the puck behind the net over to the right side. Riley Avalar pinches from the right point, able to hold the zone. Now it comes back down low behind the goal. Sherling As her stick lifted up, the clearing attempt comes around to the right wing, picked off there. Kendall Gustafson, right corner, into the slot. Addison Fee fires, and the save is made by Gree. The rebound is there. Yellow Jackets pick it up. Sherling. Good pressure by the Yellow Jackets here in the opening 90 seconds. Two really good scoring opportunities. They change lines. Jackets break it up at center. Aislinn Carrick's pass is going to be picked off. And the Pointers will take it back on the left wing. Jenna Britz dumps it into Yellow Jacket territory. Roski behind the net. Tried to poke that one up the left wing side. It's not going to go. Claire Riestenberg has it along the end boards, and to help her out is Kendall Rickley. Centering pass from behind the net, broken up by the Yellow Jackets. Comes back down behind the goal. Carrick's pass intercepted. Centering feed into the slot. The one-timer there by Rickley hits a skate. Yellow Jackets go to clear, but not out. So Stevens Point answering the Yellow Jackets' recent pressure with some pressure of its own. It comes around on the right wing boards now and poked out to neutral ice. Two Yellow Jackets collide, and the Pointers come away with it here. Riley Novak has it on the right wing boards. She'll slide it down into the corner and behind the Yellow Jacket net. Picked up there by Carrick. Carrick's pass up the right wing intended for Horning doesn't go. Now Roski's got it behind her net. Her pass hits a skate. It caroms all the way up to the blue line. Now a long shot from the right point. Misses just wide of the mark. Stevens Point has it again. Sharp angle shot from the right circle. That one's stopped by Moyer. And Avery Olenek comes back the other way for the Yellow Jackets. She mishandles in the neutral zone. Jackets follow the play. Penalty coming. It's going to be on Stevens Point as Jalen Wharton was upended in the neutral zone. And the Yellow Jackets are going to get the first power play of the afternoon, I should say. See how many times I messed that one up. Tripping will be the call. 3:08 of the opening period is the time of the penalty. Natalie Ahern is the guilty party. First power play for the Yellow Jackets. This power play sponsored by Superior Water, Light, and Power. Clean, reliable, Superior. That's SWLP. You heard Coach Simon talk a little bit about the power play and how it has been a difficult thing for the Yellow Jackets. They come in at just 7.1% when skating on the power play. Horning from the right circle takes a shot that gets blocked. Loose puck left circle now. Jackets over skate. Poked free by Maya Anderson, but now Polkamp for Stevens Point will clear that back out into the neutral zone. Molly Polkamp, the top scorer for the Pointers with 7 goals, 7 assists, 14 points so far. At center, it's Sherling for the Yellow Jackets across the Stevens Point line. A long shot, and it's blockered away by Grieg. In the high slot, Sherling to the right point. Horning winds and fires, and a save is made by Grieg. Rebound picked up on the left wing boards. Yellow Jackets have it again. Kovala to Horning up top. Right point, Sherling over to the left circle. Now a wrister taken there by Taylor Marks is gloved and held by Grieg. Face-off coming up here in the Stevens Point zone. Minute and 4 left in the first power play of the game for the Yellow Jackets. 15:55 to go here in this opening period. Yellow Jackets and Stevens Point scoreless from Westman Arena in Superior. Olenek takes a shot from the top of the right circle that hits traffic in front. Puck goes into the left wing corner of the Stevens Point zone. Olenek digs it loose, then throws it right back into the pile. Pointers will take it from there, and that's going to be sent all the way down the ice, so the Yellow Jackets will be forced to regroup. Stacey Steiner behind her net. Throws a pass over to Fee on the left wing. Rink wide, feet on the right, intended for Olenek, gets intercepted. Puck goes back into the Yellow Jacket zone, right wing corner. Kasha Kovala picks it up. She'll circle behind the net. Mishandles for a moment, then gets it back, but now she's going to be relieved of the puck, and it's played back over to the right wing corner. Steiner winning the race of that puck for the Yellow Jackets. In to help out here is Addison Fee. Well, the puck is behind the Yellow Jacket net, and coming out with it, Steiner. As we have passed the 5-minute mark of the first period, Yellow Jackets and Pointers are scoreless. In the right wing corner, Steiner for the Yellow Jackets. Penalized player back on, so the Yellow Jackets 0 for 1 on the power play here in the early going. Now the headman pass intended for Jenna Britz is going to be behind her and come all the way down, and that's going to result in an icing call and a face-off coming up here in the Stevens Point zone. Shots 5-2 Yellow Jackets. We have no score, 14:42 to play here in this opening period. I am John Garver. Happy to have you along on this Friday afternoon from Westman Arena in Superior. Game one, as we've mentioned, of a two-game weekend set. 6 very valuable points on the line for the Yellow Jackets here this weekend. Wharton on the right wing boards, pushes it down behind the net. She's upended. Play is going to continue on. Puck comes free in the left corner. Now it comes back behind the net. Stevens Point will get control here. And Alyssa Yoakum fires that one ahead to center. Puck tipped down into the Yellow Jacket zone, but they were on their own side of center, and that's going to be another icing call. Face-off will come back down here in Stevens Point territory. First game of a hockey doubleheader here today on KUWS and Yellow Jacket TV. Yellow Jacket men also in search of valuable points this weekend. They'll be taking on nationally ranked UW Stout here tonight. 6:30 pregame, 7:05 face-off. I will have the call on that one as well. Puck dumped down into the Stevens Point zone. It gets past Kendall Gustafson along the end board, and the Pointers are going to move that back to neutral ice. Taylor Marks on the left wing, plays it on the backhand into the Stevens Point zone. It comes back down behind the net. Yoakum's got it there. Reverses the puck behind the net for Pouchnick. Now it comes free right on the doorstep. Addison Fee tried to get the shot away, but she had her stick lifted up. Wasn't able to get any lumber on that one. It comes around to the left wing side. Taylor Marks now for the Jackets. Pokes it behind the net. Gustafson's got it left wing corner. Tried to stick handle her way in front, but it was poked away. It comes back down behind the Stevens Point net. Anna Sherling ties up her defender, and the Pointers come out with it here now with Rickley carrying it up the right side. Rickley up the right wing. Crosses the Yellow Jacket line. Lets a long wrist shot go, and it goes off the glove of Moyer and wide of the mark. Now Addison Fee on the left wing boards. Sends that ahead to center for Eiley Dahl. For some reason, she tried to play that on her backhand when she could have just taken that on the forehand and carried it. The result, a turnover, and Stevens Point sending it back the other way. Brooke Bugas for the Jackets behind her net as we pass the 7-minute mark of the opening period. No score from Westman Arena in Superior. Eiley Dahl now in the high slot for the Yellow Jackets. Plays it on the backhand out to neutral ice. Ahern forced to go all the way back behind her goal, then uses the end boards, and the Karam is going to come all the way to the right point. Bugas holds the zone for the Yellow Jackets. Now the puck taken away from her. Parnell gets it back. Feeds Bugas in the slot. Brooke Bugas carries over to the left wing circle. Throws that one in on goal. Grieg makes a stick save and tips it to the right corner. Now Ashton Parnell for the Yellow Jackets gives it down low. It's off the stick of Horning there. Puck ends up in the left corner. Pointers will reverse it back the other way again. Anderle picks it up. She gets tied up on the play by Steiner. Now Avery Olenek got the right point. Fakes the shot and goes over to Kovala in the left circle, but that one's tipped. Olenek gets it back for the Jackets in the right wing corner. Now it's stripped away from her. Puck carries into the slot, and the Pointers are going to clear it back out into the neutral zone. Good pace here in the early going. A lot of good flow, too, with not a lot of stoppages in the action. Inside the Yellow Jacket blue line now, the play broken up, and it's going to be taken here and dumped back the other way by Lukazik. Yellow Jackets in the midst of a line change here, so Stevens Point with a relatively easy zone exit. On the left wing boards now, this is Brits for the Pointers, dumping it down into the Yellow Jacket zone. It comes around behind the net to the right wing corner. Now a centering feed in front, and the shot from the right circle is going to miss high. That was Polkamp, the top scorer for the Pointers. Yellow Jackets on the right wing boards, able to pitchfork that out into the neutral zone. Pointers get it back, and they play it into Yellow Jacket territory. Moyer's going to drop down and cover it up, and we're going to get a face-off here in the Yellow Jacket zone. Just the 4th shot on goal for the Pointers here, and we're nearly 9 minutes in. They've had one golden opportunity. It came in the first minute. Each team with a really good point-blank chance in the first 60 seconds of hockey. Pointers win the face-off. The shot taken by Engelbrecht goes over the top of the net. Puck is loose behind the goal now. Taylor Marks has it here for the Yellow Jackets. She moves it to the right wing side. Kendall Gustafson's got it. Gustafson got it to neutral. Broken up there, and the Pointers dump it back in. Now the puck played back the other way, down into Stevens Point territory. Grieg out of the net, sends it up the left side. Jackets intercept. Gustafson plays it down low behind the net. Sherling tried to center. That one got intercepted. And the Pointers will regroup with Engelbrecht going back behind her net. Puck is played up by Neist on the right wing side. Taylor Marks breaks that up. Pointers will get it back, and they're going to decide just to send that all the way down. And it'll be an icing call. The face-off will come all the way back down in the Stevens Point zone. If you see the scoreboard on the stream, it says shots are 6-6. That's a lie. It's actually 7-4 Yellow Jackets at this point. Jackets have had the better of the play here throughout the first half of the period. Eiley Dahl behind the net. Sends it up top. Bugas at the left point. That shot hits some traffic in front. Rebound comes to the right circle. Steiner over skates, but Ashton Parnell able to get possession back. Now the Pointers do take control, but again can't carry it out of the zone. Dahl steps into a defender. Comes away with the puck on the right wing boards. Throws it in on net. Grieg makes the save. Rebound pops up in the air. Now it comes up to the right point. Steiner takes the shot. The save made by Grieg. Jackets get it back on the miss clear. Bugas with a shot from the left circle. That'll be stopped by Grieg, and she'll hold on with 9:58 to play here in this opening period. Can't get enough of the Yellow Jackets? Then tune in to Eye of the Swarm, the official podcast of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Join the Big Sound, Matt Johnson, and me throughout the year as we sit down with Yellow Jackets student athletes, coaches, and other guests. Eye of the Swarm is available at uwsyellowjackets.com/podcast on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your podcasts. Latest episode of The Swarm dropped on Monday, featuring the first head men's club hockey coach here at UW Superior, Sam Ramutis. It's a good one. It's a longer episode as well, but some good stuff in there. And we had a good rapid-fire segment with him at the end. Get to learn a little bit more about the club men's hockey coach here at UW Superior, so you're going to want to check that one out. Also a reminder, well, I don't have it on this one. Never mind then. We'll give you that reminder in the second period, but I can dig my other sheet out. 9:58 to play here, first period. Yellow Jackets and Pointers scoreless. Shots 10-4 Yellow Jackets. Face-off will be to the right of goaltender Emily Grieg. Kasia Kovalainen to take the face-off for the Yellow Jackets against Riley Novak. It's controlled by the Pointers. Regan carrying behind the net. She'll come out the left side with it here and carry it to center across the red line. She slides it ahead for Anderle on the left wing. Anderle throws it into the slot. Puck is loose in the blue paint. Anderle in there digging away for the Pointers. And it's going to be covered up by Moyer. Stacy Steiner coming right in going, that's enough of that, and pushing Anderle out of there, who was digging away for that puck. Yellow Jacket freshman goaltender making the stop. Face off to Moyer's right, controlled by the Pointers. Anderle with a shot, the save made by Moyer, and a quick whistle as Moyer made the save and could not control the rebound. So a quick whistle there, saving the Yellow Jackets because the Pointers had numbers on the Jackets at the top of the goal crease. Pointers win the face-off again. Yoakum pushes it down the left wing boards. It comes back behind the goal. Clearing attempt is intercepted. Anderle on the left wing takes the shot from the circle, and the save is made. That'll be held. And we'll have another face-off here in the Yellow Jacket zone. Face-off won again by the Pointers now. Quick shot taken from between the circles by Polkamp, goes wide of the mark. So the Jackets have had their stretches where they've had the better of the play and they've had the extended O-zone time. Pointers have been able to match that with some extended forecheck time of its own. Now the Yellow Jackets, Sherling couldn't handle the exit pass. It's held in at the point. Torma pushes that back down the right boards. Jackets intercept, and Kendall Gustafson will come back the other way. The freshman out of Hibbing, Minnesota, plays it into the Stevens Point zone. Addison Fee in to help out as the puck gets caught along the boards in the right wing corner. Puck's worked free now. Gabby Olsen got to the front net, lost it. Fee turns around, it fires and scores! First collegiate goal for Addison Fee, who was in the right place at the right time. Got that loose puck and puts it between the pads of Grieg with 8:39 to go here in this opening period. The Yellow Jackets are in front. I'm assuming It's going to be Gustafson and Olsen on the assist, but we will wait for the announcement, courtesy of Ryan Castaneda. At any rate, the Yellow Jackets in front at 11:29 of the first period. Puck is in the offensive zone again for the Jackets. Wharton up the left wing. Leaves it at the left point. Taylor Marks pushes it into the pile.
Your Yellow Jackets was number 7, Addison Fee. She's assisted on that goal by number 5, Gabby Olsen, and number 18, Kendall Gustafson.
So it is Gustafson and Olsen on the assists. First of the season for Addison Fee. And the Yellow Jackets in front. Natalie Ahern for Stevens Point sends it into the Yellow Jacket zone. It's going to slide into the right side of the net, and it's going to be covered up there. And held by Jada Moyer. 8:02 to go here. First period, 1-0 Yellow Jackets with the lead. Brooke Bugas now for the Yellow Jackets, pokes it behind her own net. Steiner's going to pick it up and send it up the right wing boards. It's going to be held in at the blue line and played back down into the right wing corner. Bugas for the Yellow Jackets gets hooked on the play as she tries to carry it out of the zone. Pointers with numbers down low, and a shot from the slot by Ahern is sticked away by Moyer. Puck is in the left wing corner, Yellow Jacket zone. It comes up the boards. Now it's going to go back down. Played back around over the right wing corner. Ahern giving chase. Bugas in there for the Yellow Jackets as well. It's going to be worked free and comes back down behind the net. Yellow Jackets get away with some interference behind the goal, and they're going to clear that ahead to center now. 2-on-1 at the Jackets hustle. This is Eiley Dahl across the line, right circle. Takes the shot. The save is made by Grieg, and the rebound just kicked away from Maya Anderson. Now Parnell from the left circle, a shot that's tipped over the top of the net. Steiner at the right point. Sends that one deep. It comes around behind the net. Picked up there by Tara Regan. Clearing attempt picked off and held in by Steiner, who backhands that down to the left wing corner. It comes around to the right wing side now, all the way up to the blue line. Avalar from the right point has her shot blocked, and the Pointers will clear that to neutral. Yellow Jackets will quickly come back in transition again. Riley Avalar plays it in. It comes behind the Pointer net to the left wing corner. Regan, the first one there for the Pointers. She gets it to the line, but not out. Good job holding by Roski, but now the Pointers do come back the other way. This is Molly Polkamp across the Yellow Jacket line. 1-on-5 as their Pointers in the midst of a change. And finally the puck turned over. Avery Olenek will clear that back out into the neutral zone. Puck comes right back into Yellow Jacket territory. Veda Roski backing it up. Spins away from Polkamp. Gives it to Riley Avalar, who whiffs on the one-touch pass. It gets to the line, but not out, and the Pointers able to hold with Britst on the left side. She plays it to the front of the net. Jackets get a stick on it, and Addison Fee will carry it back the other way. Fee had her pass broken up right in the high slot, but the Jackets able to clear that one away to the right wing corner. As we pass the 14-minute mark of period number 1, it's a 1-0 lead for the Yellow Jackets, courtesy of Addison Fee's first collegiate goal. So hopefully they took the puck out of play for that young lady. It's been a long time coming for her because she's had plenty of opportunities to score that first goal throughout this freshman campaign. Finally able to hit pay dirt. Puck is behind the Yellow Jacket net now. Comes up the right side for Kendall Gustafson. She'll throw that over to the left. Taylor Marks now will go right back to the right side. And Gustafson carries into the Stevens Point zone, dropping it off for Fee. Fee in the right circle takes the shot. Grieg makes the save. In the left circle, Marks throws it back into the slot. Fee tried to get the backhand away, but it was blocked. Puck is going to come over now into the right wing corner. In there for the Yellow Jackets was Sherling. This line's been very good so far in the first period. Comes up to the line, but not out. Yellow Jackets' Fee tried to push that down the boards. It doesn't go, and Rickley back the other way here for Stevens Point. Kendall Rickley on the left wing dumps it in. It comes behind the goal now. Yellow Jackets will get it back. Steiner gets poke checked as she tried to carry it out. Able to recover and clear, but the Pointers will send it right back in as Ahern dumps it deep. Behind the Yellow Jacket net, taken there by Steiner. She wraps that one around the right side. Now into the slot as we pass the 15-minute mark of the first period. 1-0 Yellow Jackets. Aspen Lukazik up the left wing into the Stevens Point zone. Dumps it in. It's back behind the net. Poke check past Gabby Olsen. First point as a Yellow Jacket for Gabby Olsen on that Yellow Jacket goal. Now Wharton in the right circle takes the shot. That catches some traffic in front. Pointers regaining control here, and they're going to clear it out to neutral ice. Comes back into the Yellow Jacket zone. Steiner in the middle now for Bugas. Didn't like what she was seeing on the right side, so she backs it up before playing it up on the right wing. Out of the reach of Wharton, it comes all the way down. Icing is waved off. Wharton picks it up behind the Stevens Point net. Wharton comes out, has it left circle, all the way up to the blue line. She leaves it there for Bugas, who takes the shot, deflected in front by Lukazic. And it's going to be covered up and held by Grieg. And we're going to get a face-off in the Stevens Point zone. 4:02 to go here in this first period. Shots 14-9 favoring the Yellow Jackets, and they have the 1-0 lead. It's been a while since the Yellow Jackets have played with a lead. Avery Olenek on the left side. I think you got to go all the way back to St. Benedict. Well, we'll try to look that up between periods, because that would be interesting to see the last time the Yellow Jackets were playing from in front. And that's a difficult thing to do, too. When you're chasing the game constantly, it's hard to play the kind of game you want to play. Face-off will be to the right of Emily Grieg. Jackets win the draw. Shot in from the left point by Roski hits traffic. Pointers finally are able to pull it out of the pile, and Kendall Rickley circles her net. Dishes it over on the left side for Yoakum. Yoakum declare that's not going to come out, and Eiley Dahl pushes it to the right corner. Torma's got it for the Pointers. Leaves it behind the goal. Now they'll fire it ahead to center. Pass on the left wing just out of the reach of Engbrecht is going to come all the way down, and that's going to result in an icing call. Face-off coming back here in the Stevens Point zone. Plenty of icing calls on the Pointers here in this opening 20. In the right wing corner, Eiley Dahl is tied up. In there to help out for the Yellow Jackets, Maya Anderson. It's worked free, and on the right wing boards, it's Parnell. Puck comes around the left wing corner this time. Now the Pointers get it back. It's taken here by Yoakum and sent up the left wing. Icing will be waved off as Riley Avalar chases it down here for the Yellow Jackets. Gets her stick lifted up at the last second, but Parnell able to come in and pick up the loose puck. Tried to carry it out of the zone on the right wing. He has it taken away from her. A shot from a sharp angle by Riley. Novak comes in on goal. Save is made there by Moyer, and she'll drop down and cover. And we'll get a face-off here. To the right of Moyer, controlled by the Yellow Jackets. Aislinn Carrick on the right wing. Able to get it out in the neutral zone, and the Jackets play it ahead. Fee on the left wing. Throws it up to the right point, out of the reach of Carrick. She's able to hold it in the zone, however, and send that one deep. Now it's going to be cleared ahead, and that's going to come all the way back to neutral ice where the Yellow Jackets will regroup. Kendall Gustafson on her own side of center has a poke checked off her stick. Taylor Marks recovering it here for the Yellow Jackets. Passes that one over to the left wing side, and Taylor Marks will dump it in. Now the puck played back the other way into the Yellow Jacket zone. Olsen wraps it hard around the left side. It doesn't come out. Puck is loose at the right side of the Yellow Jacket net, and stretching out to cover that one up is Jada Moyer. And we'll get a face-off here in the Yellow Jacket zone with 1:38 to play. In this opening period, Brooke Bugas circles her net, now drops it off for Stacey Steiner. Turns it over at the left side of the net. Point blank shot by Skelly, sticked aside by Moyer. Now behind the Yellow Jacket net, Skelly centering for Polkamp. She gets a shot away. Puck was blocked and bounced in toward the goal. Jackets can't cover. Jackets can't clear. Now Bugas gets it back, and she is able to clear that out into the neutral zone. Jackets carry it in. Lukazik from the left circle takes a shot that misses over the top of the net. On the left wing boards, Bugas on the backhand tried to center. That one doesn't go. It's going to be played back the other way, down into the Yellow Jacket zone. Riley Avalar chases it down, throws that one up on the right wing, and the Jackets able to clear. Puck played in from the neutral zone, steered away by Moyer. Pointers get it back on the right wing side. Centering attempt by Anderle doesn't go. Now the Jackets regaining control here with 30 seconds to play in the first period. Trying to carry it out of the zone was Kovala. Turns it over. Centering feed in front. They score. They were able to capitalize on the turnover. And Natalie Ahern, driving down the slot, took the centering pass, and the Pointers have tied it. For Ahern, it's her 5th of the season. Yoakum will get one of the assists. We will see if they award a second one on the play. A late one there as the Jackets had an opportunity to clear and missed that clearing attempt, and it ends up in the back of the goal.
Natalie Ahern. She was assisted by number 23, Alyssa Yoakum, and number 11, Maddie Anderle.
So Anderle also getting an assist on that late goal by the Pointers. And the Yellow Jacket lead vanishes in the final minute of the opening period. A good opportunity for the Yellow Jackets to go to the locker room with the lead for the first time in quite a long time. But nonetheless, a very good first period for the Yellow Jackets. Did a lot of good things. And they were able to, for the first time since December, play with a lead. And we will throw it down ringside. Abby Hoffman has a special guest. Abby, who you got?
All right, Addison, you scored your first collegiate goal today. How are you feeling about that?
I'm pretty excited. I feel like I definitely should have had a couple more, but I'm happy that I got the first one out of the way.
Congratulations, it's exciting. Unfortunately, they were able to sneak one in the last few seconds there with 6 important conference points on the line this weekend. What's the message going into the next period?
I think we just got to outwork them. I feel the last couple of minutes they definitely outworked us, but we just got to get back to playing how we are and being confident with the puck.
Awesome, great. Good luck. You're welcome. Back to you, John.
Thank you very much, Abby Hoffman, ringside. A good conversation with freshman Addison Fee, who scored her first collegiate goal and was able to stake the Yellow Jackets to the 1-0 lead. Unfortunately, that lead evaporated in the final minute. And we will go to the locker room after 20 minutes, tied 1-1. We'll take a quick timeout and come back with our first intermission, sponsored by Hovland Incorporated right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. at Westman Arena. It's our first intermission, and as always, the first intermission is sponsored by Hovland Incorporated, providing concrete masonry design to the Twin Ports and the surrounding area. Hovland Incorporated, 218-722-1662. Yellow Jackets and Stevens Point tied 1-1 after one. Yellow Jackets were able to score first at 11:29 in the opening period. The woman you just heard from, Addison Fee, getting her first collegiate goal. Gabby Olson and Kendall Gustafson got the assist as Fee got the puck between the circles and was able to pound a rebound home for her first. That gave the Yellow Jackets the 1-0 lead at 11:29. Why is that noteworthy? Because with that goal, it was the first time that the Yellow Jackets have played with a lead since December 6th. That was a Saturday when they hosted UW-Eau Claire, a game that I believe Tom Hansen was on lead vocals for. That's the last time the Yellow Jackets played with a lead. So, very, very big goal, and for the first time in ages that they haven't had to chase the game. So that was a big opportunity right there. Stevens Point, however, extinguished that lead in the final minute of the period at 19:39. Fifth goal of the season for Natalie Ahern as the Yellow Jackets missed a clearing opportunity, and it ended up being a turnover, and a point-blank shot by Ahern gets home for her fifth. Assist to Yoakum and Anderle on that one at 19:39, and the Yellow Jackets and Pointers tied 1-1. Shots on goal in the first period favoring the Yellow Jackets at 15-12. That also kind of noteworthy because the Yellow Jackets have had stretches here where they've had a lot of difficulty getting pucks on net, and from the opening faceoff here this afternoon, they've been able to generate some things offensively. They've had stretches where they've carried the play offensively. They've had stretches where they've been on their heels defensively. So two very, very evenly matched teams in the opening 20, and they played that way. Evenly matched teams on the season, and they played that way in the opening 20. Only one penalty. It came early, and it was a Yellow Jacket power play. Jackets 0 for 1 with the advantage here through the opening 20 minutes. Yellow Jackets and Pointers tied 1-1 after one. We'll take a timeout and come back with more of our first intermission, sponsored by Hovland Incorporated, right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network.
And joining you here on the Intermission Report, senior lecturer in Comp 330 Multimedia Journalism. One of our students is back at KUWS Radio as the board operator. Oh, we got to be over here. We got to be on the camera. Is that it? Oh, we're doing cameras? We're doing cameras too. Wow. All right. One of our board operators is Gus. Gus is back at the studio, and Gus is one of our students taking part, and today for our assignment in our class, they were nice enough to schedule a women's hockey game during class time. Joining us now, Keith Turner. Keith from Superior High School, taking a comm class here in college. And Keith, first and foremost, welcome to UWS. I'd say welcome to Catlin Avenue, but you know it well, going to school across the street. What's this first year like for you, going from literally a high school into a college class? What's it been like for you?
Well, it's definitely different. It's definitely different. Classes can be a little bit more challenging, but there's also some more freedom that goes along with it. So I like the experience.
And the dual credit opportunity, right? I mean, that's a great opportunity for you to get advanced with some credits and things like that while you're still in high school, right?
Yeah, definitely.
What are some of your sports? I know Keith, I just saw Keith here last night as I was broadcasting the Spartan boys high school hockey game. Tell us what you're involved with at the high school, because you're involved with many things at the high school, Keith.
Yeah, I do a few different things. So one of the biggest things is I'm part of the Superior High School band. I play the mellophone. It's the marching French horn. So I see a lot of games through that, especially here in Westman Arena. And then I'm also part of the Spartan Spin, the student news organization of Superior High School.
Yes, very talented staff you have there, students. You get to work with Jed Carlson from the Superior Telegram, who is great information, right?
Yeah, great opportunity to see him every day.
What's it like? I know you were just at a game last night. You had a different role, as a performer. Now today is kind of a class. What's it like to be at Westman in a different role here today?
It's definitely different. You see a lot of different places that you might not have seen, like up here in the press box. Never been up here before.
Oh, good.
But
that's the whole idea. Look at all these stats and John's notes and things like that. Well, Keith, thank you very much. We're going to bring Ella Hill over here. So if you can take your headset, I'll just turn this down momentarily. And Ella Hill is going to join us. And so Ella, apparently there's the camera there. I know this is, you can say hi to everybody back at home. Thank you very much,
Hello.
Keith Turner. Keith, thank you very much. Ella is a senior, is that right? So,
yes.
Yeah, senior, and I would say an outgoing senior because she graduates here in the spring. Please tell us all the groups and organizations you're involved with here on campus, because I can't keep track of them, and I have known you for a little bit, so I can't keep track of them. Please share everything you're doing at campus.
Yeah, so I am a senior in public leadership and change making with a minor in journalism. I am the president of Amnesty International UWS. I am the outgoing president of Alliance. I also help out with Changemaker student organization and the web editor and assistant newspaper editor for the Promethean, and I work on campus as a campus ambassador.
And the Promethean, obviously 106 years old. Thank you for your involvement as the advisor of that. UWS-Promethean.com for the website, the content, and the videos and the podcast. New role, I'm guessing you've never been in a class at a hockey game before. What's this like for you to see the cameras and the operation for a game day broadcast? Keep in mind, Gus is back at the radio station listening to every word you say.
All right, it's actually pretty cool. I have a lot of family up in Ely, and it's on the way to the Hall of Fame for the hockey. Right. So hockey is like a bloodlight up there. You're constantly talking about it, hearing about it. So being able to see the behind the scenes instead of in the stands is super cool. And I hope my parents see this.
Well, they will, because it's on YouTube and it'll be fantastic. What are your hopes and dreams after college? Because I think I know some of them, but please share. This is just step one of your collegiate opportunity, isn't it?
Yes, I got into the School of London for SOAS, for International Human Rights Broadcasting, or Investigative Human Rights Journalism, and I will be going to the School of London next year.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Yeah, everybody in Ely, that's a great community there. They embrace winter there, don't they, in Ely? They embrace outdoors and activities in Ely, don't they?
Yes, they do, especially with the wolf and bear centers and the boundary waters. It's hard not to like the outdoors up there.
Well, thank you very much. We're going to pass the headset over to Emily, another freshman real quick, and then we'll wrap things up and send it back to John. But again, this is COM 330, Multimedia Journalism. Abby Hoffman, who was the ringside reporter, is part of class. Gus, who is back in the studio, is part of class. Georgia, who's doing stats, is part of class. Emily Tews joins us. And Emily, welcome to Yellow Jacket TV. Welcome to KUWS, and welcome to Westman Arena. What's it like for you here today?
It's pretty good. I haven't been to a women's hockey game before. I didn't watch a lot of sports growing up, so getting to watch more sports has definitely been something really fun. I was at a couple men's games earlier in the season. Those are super fun.
Freshman year, how's it going overall? I know it's only your second semester. What do you think? I know you're also involved with the Promethean, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. This is my second semester as a reporter for the Promethean. I'm also the assistant web editor this semester. I'm really excited about it. I made the dean's list last semester somehow. My classes have been going good, but the cold does never get easier. I'm from northwestern Wisconsin originally. It doesn't get any better the longer you're in it, even if you think it's going to.
A little bit about your major and what drew you here to campus in UWS. Obviously, other opportunities. What'd you like about this experience here?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a freshman. I'm studying multimedia journalism. As you could probably tell by I'm in this class with you. I spent a lot of time with Tom, both in class and at the Promethean. He stuck with me every single day. I'm also a member of the Sustainability Club and Amnesty International.
Wow, that's great.
Super excited to be here. I've loved how small campus feels. I love being able to really have close relationships with the people around me and with my classmates and professors.
And you're going to people be able to hear your voice some more often on KUWS, hopefully this semester and the years to come. So
I'm hoping so.
All right, prediction time. 1-1 after 1. What do you think? Who's going to win? Let's get a prediction from Emily.
I mean, I'm a UWS student. Go Yellow Jackets.
Go Yellow Jackets. I'll go 3-2 Yellow Jackets. How about that?
Absolutely. Go Yellow Jackets.
All right, go Yellow Jackets. We're going to send it back to the studios. We'll take one quick final break. When we come back, John Garver. By the way, John, a UWS grad and a Wisconsin Broadcasting Association, not 1, not 2, not 3, I think 4-time award winner rolling right now, 2-time play-by-play award winner. So more with John Garver, play-by-play, second period action. It's the Yellow Jackets. It's the Pointers. It's 91.3 FM KUWS and Yellow Jacket TV, a proud partner of the conference affiliation. More right after this.
We're back here at Westman Arena, moments away from the start of this second period. The Yellow Jackets and Stevens Point tied 1-1 after 1. Addison Fee with the goal for the Yellow Jackets, her first of the season from Gabby Olson and Kendall Gustafson. That came at the 11:21 mark of the opening period and made it 1-0. Stevens Point tying it with just 21 seconds to go in the period. Natalie Ahern scoring her fifth to draw the Pointers even. The 11 saves in the first period for Jada Moyer. She defends the goal to our right. The Yellow Jackets again in the gray sweaters with the gold trim will be going from right to left here in period number 2. The opening face-off of the period controlled by the Yellow Jackets come out with it. Stacy Steiner on the right wing moved it ahead for Eiley Dahl, who fanned on her opportunity to play it in. And it's going to be sent back down the other way. 20 minutes and 13 seconds of play. Yellow Jackets have been good in the face-off circle. Unfortunately, they're not able to take advantage of the icing calls, and that's the same thing here as the Pointers win the draw. Ahern, the goal scorer, dumps it into Yellow Jacket territory. The carom off the end board will be covered up by Jada Moyer. And we'll have a face-off here, this time in the Yellow Jacket zone. So 22 seconds in, and we will have had a face-off in all 3 zones so far. This one will be to the left of Jada Moyer. Jackets control the draw. Gustafson carries up the right wing. In the middle for Fee. Takes the shot right circle. Stick save made by Grieg. Clearing attempt comes up to the left point, and it'll be cleared past Anna Scherling. And on the right wing boards, it's taken by Skelly and dumped into the Yellow Jacket zone. The puck loose behind the goal. Vaderowski picking it up here for the Yellow Jackets. She'll play it behind her own goal now for Riley Avalar. Avalar for Scherling, and she'll clear to neutral ice. Pointers will quickly come back on the attack, however, as Jenna Britz dumps it into the Yellow Jacket zone. 1 minute gone here in period number 2. The Yellow Jackets and Pointers tied 1-1. Now a turnover. Shot taken from the left circle. They score. The shot from the left circle by Engbrecht got deflected in the slot. Right at the top of the goal crease, I should say. Looks like it's going to be Claire Riestenberg who's going to get credit for it. And the Pointers have moved in front. Time of that goal is 1:08 of the second period. First goal of the season for Riestenberg. For the second time in the game, the Yellow Jackets turning the puck over in the defensive zone and have it end up in the back of their net. Pointers win the face-off. They'll send it into the Yellow Jacket zone. Carrick chasing it down.
Scoring the goal for Stevens Point was number 10, Avery Engbrecht. She got an assist on the goal by number 9, Claire Riestenberg, and number 14, Skylar Arneson.
So Arneson will also get an assist. I am not going to change my scoring because it is not the same as what they announced. I do believe Riestenberg got that goal. And the Pointers are in front here early in the second period. Horning for the Yellow Jackets, carries into the high slot. Horning now works her way to the circle, takes the shot, she scores! Ella Horning, the transfer, scoring her first goal as a Yellow Jacket. Taking the shot from between the circles, a lot of traffic in front, and it gets underneath goaltender Emily Grieg. Time of that goal, 1:47. So the Yellow Jackets answer. 39 seconds after the Pointers took the lead, the Jackets tie it. It's 2-2. A little bit of a delay. Now it appears that everything is copacetic. And we're tied at 2. Jackets win the face-off and send it right back into the Stevens Point zone. Clearing attempt gets to the line. Does come out. Jackets drive it back in. Now the Pointers carry to center. Up the left wing boards. It's taken by Ahern. She'll dump it in.
Scoring for your Yellow Jackets was number 17, Ella Horning. She got an assist on that goal by number 20, Avery Olenek. That's Horning.
So Avery Olenek with the lone assist, and the Pointers score. Another failed clearing attempt by the Yellow Jackets. Right as they were wrapping up that one. Bouncing puck in front. Yellow Jackets got outnumbered down low. And it's going to be Anderle getting the goal here for Stevens Point. 2:21 the time. So 34 seconds after the Yellow Jackets tie it, the Pointers turn around and regain the lead. And the teams have now combined for 3 goals in a span of 1:13 to start this second period. Jackets win the face-off. Eiley Dahl up the right wing.
The Pointers was number 11, Maddie Anderle. She garnered assists from number 6, Riley Novak, and number 19, Abby Skelly.
So Skelly and Novak get the assists on that goal. That has put the Pointers back in front. Neist has it here for Stevens Point. She'll back it up behind her net, now play it up the right wing. Abby Skelly's got it there. Her rink-wide pass broken up by Avalar. The puck will bounce into the Yellow Jacket zone. Veda Roski circling back. Moves it up the left wing where Parnell's got it here. Ashton Parnell ahead on the right wing for Eiley Dahl. She'll tip it into the Stevens Point zone. Yellow Jackets will change personnel. Pointers will come quickly back to center with Polkamp moving it ahead. Riestenberg, she's got it on the right wing side. Takes a shot from the circle and a pad save made by Moyer. Jackets get the puck to the line but can't get it out. It's going to be played back down behind the net. Sherling over to the right side for Marks. Tipped ahead now, and here's Sherling 2-on-1 with Fee. Anna Sherling across the Stevens Point line. Takes the shot from the right circle and hits the crossbar. On the left side, Fee throws it back behind the Stevens Point net. Comes up on the left side. Jackets able to break that one up. They'll head off on a change, and the Pointers will regain control and get it to the line. Taylor Marks holding it in at the left point. Now the puck does come back to neutral ice. Kendall Gustafson is there. Her pass is going to be broken up, and it's going to come all the way back down behind the Yellow Jacket net. Hazelyn Carrick pokes it up the right wing. Pointer's able to hold the zone. Now a miss clear in front again, and that one's going to be swept wide of the goal. That one by Ahern. Now the puck played back up high. Yellow Jackets with the steal. Now the Pointers getting it back. They've got it left wing corner. It's Anderle throwing that one up the slot. Jackets come back the other way, 2-on-1 again if they hurried, but they rushed that pass. It was intended for Kovala. It got intercepted and comes right back down the other direction. Behind the Yellow Jacket net now. Starting up with it here, Carrick. She gets it to the line, but not out. Shot from the right point. Comes in on goal. And that's going to be covered up and held by Jada Moyer. Face-off coming here in the Yellow Jacket zone with 15:11 remaining. In the second period, 3-2. Stevens Point has the lead. Order seeming to have been restored a little bit here. After a chaotic first 2.5 minutes. Puck is behind the Yellow Jacket net now. Coming out with it is Ashton Parnell. She speeds up the right wing, crosses the red and dumps it in. Parnell giving chase. Grace Torma there for the Pointers. They tie up along the end board. In to help out is Eiley Dahl. Dahl works it free. Puck was in Parnell's skates. She didn't know it was there. And now Torma will play it over on the left side. Comes back around, so she'll try the right side this time. It's held in by Maya Anderson at the left point. Now the Jackets' Parnell's got it, but it's poked away from her. Puck comes back behind the Stevens Point net. Picked up there by Yoakum. And it's going to be cleared out to center. Goes off the skate of Stacy Steiner, who backs it up into her own zone. Clearing attempt held in at the left point. Driven back down low by Rickley. Yellow Jackets regain control again and clear it to center. Pointers will get it back. Avery Engbrecht dumps it back into the Yellow Jacket zone. Maya Anderson on the left wing. Tried to clear it, doesn't go out. Missed clearing attempts plaguing the Yellow Jackets here. Forcing them to be bottled up in their own zone for extended periods. Comes back up top at the left point. A wrister through traffic gets blocked. Puck is back behind the Yellow Jacket net. Defense pair has been on the ice for a couple of minutes. Jackets need to change in the worst way right now. And they're going to get it as the shot comes in from the right wing. Is going to be covered by Moyer. Face-off coming up here in the Yellow Jacket zone. .35 remaining here in the second period. Stevens Point leading the Yellow Jackets 3-2. Jackets able to clear it out into the neutral zone now. It's taken here by Regan. Regan passes it up the middle now, and the Pointers' Riley Novak comes across the line, drops it off in the right circle. Anderle whiffs on the one-timer. It trickles in toward the net and steered aside by Moyer. Now a shot from a sharp angle is steered aside, and the Yellow Jackets' Avalar moves it ahead on the left wing for Fee. Now to Sherling, over for Gustafson. The shot and the save is made by Grieg. Really nice odd person rush by the Yellow Jackets there. And Kendall Gustafson, the team's leading goal scorer, with a point-blank opportunity, but the Pointer goaltender comes up big. Now the Pointers come away to center. This is Polkamp. Check, that is not Polkamp. Excuse me, it's Riley Novak. Her shot's going to go wide. In the Yellow Jacket zone, right corner, Sherling gets there first. Leaves for Veda Roski, who then passes ahead, though it's going to be behind Wharton. It's going to come all the way down and result in icing on the Yellow Jackets. Point-blank opportunity for the Yellow Jackets. That line has generated some really good offense today. Earlier in this period, Anna Sherling rings the crossbar, and on that one, Gustafson stopped at point-blank range. Pointers have now budged ahead in the shots on goal department. Avery Olenek got it for the Yellow Jackets here. She'll carry it ahead on the left wing. Tried to poke it past the defense, but that was intercepted and cleared. Aislinn Carrick for the Jackets again. Up the middle for Kovala. 2-on-1 for the Yellow Jackets here, but Kovala whiffs on the pass. She had Ella Horning going to the net. Pointers are going to clear, and that's going to come back the other way. It's going to be all the way down, and that'll be icing. 2-on-1 for the Yellow Jackets at that juncture right there. Unfortunately, they weren't able to convert the pass. Pointers have been a tad more assertive in the face-off circle here in this second period as well. Puck is cleared out into the neutral zone. Went off of Taylor Marks, and the loose puck is scooped up by Olenek, and she'll come back the other way. Olenek up the left wing across the Stevens Point line. Pulls up in the left circle. She gets tied up, still gets a shot away. It goes off a skate of the defense. Now behind the goal, Olenek. Tried to bank it off the end board behind the defender, but that one's going to be picked off. And the Pointers get it out into the neutral zone. Jackets break it up. Bugas sends it back up the left wing. And Horning will play it deep. Polkamp for Stevens Point. Leaves it behind the net for Torma. Torma now will clear that one ahead. It's going to come down into Yellow Jacket territory. Bugas will circle back behind her own goal. Now come up the left side with it here. Throws a pass ahead at center that's broken up, but it comes right to Maya Anderson. She leaves it in the center faceoff circle, and Eiley Dahl will dump that down into the Pointer zone. Puck is in the left wing corner. Stevens Point zone. Dahl breaks up the clearing attempt. She dishes it on the boards, left wing side for Parnell. Parnell pushes it behind the Stevens Point net. Dahl back there battling along with Yoakum. Each team's number 23 battling for possession. Ultimately, the Pointers come out with it here, and Yoakum carries to center. She'll cross the red line and take a long shot that's stopped by Moyer. Rebound picked up, and Stacy Steiner comes back on the attack. Steiner for the Yellow Jackets. Cuts across the Stevens Point line. Steiner in the right circle takes a shot. The save made by Grieg, and she'll hold on. And we're going to get a face-off coming up here in the Stevens Point zone. 10:09 remaining in this second period. Stevens Point leading 3-2. Avalar breaks up a clearing attempt at the right point. Puck pops up in the air. Pointers glove it down to center. That should be a hand pass, and there's the stoppage in play. Gives us an opportunity to remind you that you can get the same gear the Yellow Jackets wear by visiting the Yellow Jacket Sideline store. Browse the latest styles of gear, including shirts, hats, sweatshirts, outerwear, and more. The Yellow Jacket Sideline store can be found at uwsyellowjackets.com/shop. Check it out frequently, too, because there's always new designs and new products that are showing up in there. Anything from clothing to coffee mugs. Yellow Jacket Hockey and Bills Distributing are partnering to benefit Folds of Honor for the 10th year in a row. Every time the Yellow Jackets score a goal at home, Bills Distributing will donate $20 to Folds of Honor, helping provide scholarships and educational assistance to the families of fallen or severely wounded servicemen and women and first responders. So far tonight, $40 raised for Folds of Honor. And hopefully the Jackets can raise at least 40 more. Because that would be enough at this point to put them in front. .9:54 to play, second period. 3-2 Stevens Point with the lead. Face off to the left of Grieg is controlled by the Pointers. Pouchnick tied up along the end board by Gustafson. Dug free by Stevens Point's Polkamp. Now it's moved ahead to center. On the right side, Ahern takes a long shot that's deflected wide by Roski. Attempted centering pass from behind the net, broken up, and the Jackets get it to the line. It did come out. Oh, they decided to say it stayed in. Okay. Puck is going to be driven back down low. Avalar To the left side for Roski, now in the middle for Anna Scherling. Scherling to Fee. Now over to the right side, Avalar. Ahead on the right wing, Gustafson tipped to the middle for Scherling. She rang one off the iron early in the second period. The Pointers will come right back on the attack. Polkamp, left circle, a shot. Stick save Moyer. Rebound shot, and she turns that one aside as well. Now behind the net for Stevens Point. Skelly centers it out front. Polkamp, a shot at the top of the goal crease, and the save made by Moyer. As she denies the top scorer of Stevens Point and then pounces down on the loose puck rebound. And we'll get a face-off here in the face-off to the right of Moyer. Face-off controlled by the Yellow Jackets. Behind the net, Carrick throws that one ahead on the left wing for Olenek. Olenek into the Stevens Point zone. Left circle, tried to dangle around one defender, but has the puck poked off her stick. And Skelly back the other way for the Pointers. Fires that one ahead for Brits, but she didn't get the line, and that's going to result in an icing call. Face-off coming back down here in the Stevens Point zone. With 8:38 remaining here in period number 2. Jackets control the face-off, but it skips past Carrick at the right point. Carrick gives it to Horning, who backhands it into the Pointers zone, but they're going to play it right back out. Olenek on the left wing. Jackets have a 3-on-2 if they hurry. I don't think they realize it, however, and then the pass goes through the skates of Kasia Kovala, and Stevens Point will clear. Marks up the right wing for Kovala, and she'll drive it into Pointer territory. Stevens Point wraps that one around. It gets past Marks on the left wing, and the Pointers come back the other way. Across the Yellow Jacket line, the puck broken up there. Bugas has it now for the Yellow Jackets. She comes out from behind her net and carries it ahead. Up the left wing into the Stevens Point zone. Bugas, her shot from the left circle is going to miss wide. In the right wing corner, Stevens Point zone. Play is going to be broken up, and back the other way now come the Pointers. Right at the line, it sneaks out. Jackets will throw it back in. It's loose behind the Stevens Point net. First one there is Torma for the Pointers. She'll wrap that one around the left wing. Jackets intercept. Dahl's centering pass hits a skate, and Stevens Point will play it back the other direction. From the red line, Rickley dumps it into the Yellow Jacket zone. Jackets quickly play it back the other way. Maya Anderson gets it to neutral. Now she's relieved of the puck. And Ahern has it for Stevens Point. Her pass intercepted as the Yellow Jackets get it back to the Stevens Point line. Taken there by Riley Novak. Novak now across the Yellow Jacket line rather. Takes a long shot that misses wide at the Yellow Jacket net. Now it's Ahern in the left circle. Her shot blocked. And coming back the other way, Parnell. She throws it to neutral ice. It's going to skip over the stick of Yoakum and come all the way down, but icing's waved off. Yoakum quickly plays it back the other direction, trying to catch the Jackets in a line change. Long shot comes in from the right wing by Ahern, steered away by Moyer. Left wing boards, Yellow Jacket zone. Polkamp for Stevens Point. Works it into the left circle, but the Yellow Jackets steal. Now it's Roski throwing that one up the left side, and it's going to be sent all the way down by Lukazik, and that'll be icing on the Yellow Jackets. With 6:05 to play here in this second period. Stevens Point leading the Yellow Jackets 3-2. Coming up during our second intermission here, sponsored by Hovland Incorporated, we will have our conversation with Chris Sugar from D3 Hockey News. Caught up with him last week. Talk a little bit about the NPI rankings and everything that's coming down the pike as the NCAA tournament looms just a few weeks away. So we'll catch up with him and get the ins and outs of what's going on. Face off to Moyer's left. Controlled here by the Jackets on the right side. Gustafson tips it to the middle now, and this is Sherling. It's poked off her stick. Jackets followed up 3-on-2 if they hurry. Wish Taylor Marks would have slid that a little forward a little bit quicker, because it could have developed into a 2-on-1. Jackets do get in the offensive zone. Pointers fail to clear. Fee in the high slot. Takes the shot. Save is made by Grieg. Rebound was there for a moment. Gustafson got the stick down and had the opportunity on the rebound. And we'll get a face-off here in the Stevens Point zone. Jackets win the draw. The shot coming in from Marks at the right point, and the save made by Grieg. Now it's quickly played back the other way. Engbrecht across the line, a shot. Save made Moyer. Rebound over to the left wing side, and the shot by Rickley ends up behind the goal. Now a centering attempt. That one's not going to go. From the right corner, a centering feed. The shot redirected in front by Engbrecht, kicked away by Moyer. Stevens Point coming out with it. Engbrecht right circle, puts that one right through the goal mouth. Rickley on the left wing. Takes a shot from the circle. That's deflected wide. Jackets on their heels a little bit here with under 5 minutes to go in the second period. Stevens Point leading 3-2. And then that clearing attempt is going to be up over the glass and out of play. Officials decide no, the Jackets will not be able to change. So the face-off coming up here with 5 tired skaters on the ice. 4:44 to go here in the second. Face-off will be to Moyer's right. Shot from the left wing by Novak hits traffic in front, and Fee picks it up for the Yellow Jackets, and she'll move it ahead. Gustafson on the left wing into the Stevens Point zone. Throws it to the front of the net. Nobody in a gray sweater there, however. Clearing attempt held in. Jackets break it up. Gustafson on the doorstep. A shot, and the save made Grieg. And then she'll drop and cover the rebound that was there momentarily. It's a really good read by Ashton Parnell as she held the zone. Looked up and saw that all the Stevens Point skaters were flying the zone, and they abandoned Kendall Gustafson in front. Gustafson with a point-blank opportunity there. She's had a couple of those this afternoon. Unfortunately, unable to capitalize. Parnell for the Yellow Jackets pokes it into the right wing corner and gives chase. First one there is Neist, excuse me. Now Maya Anderson, right wing corner. Slides it to the front of the goal, and it's going to be covered up by Grieg. So we'll have another face-off coming here in the Stevens Point zone. Shots 25-23 Stevens Point. They have the 3-2 lead with just under 4 minutes remaining here in the second. Puck cleared out into the neutral zone. It hops over the stick of Bugas and comes all the way down, and that will result in an icing call on Stevens Point. Jackets control the draw. Avalar at the right point will send that one down low. It comes behind the Stevens Point net. Centering attempt blocked. Jackets get it back in the slot. Horning with a shot, and it goes over the top of the goal. Jackets had trouble settling that one down because they had Avery Olenek wide open in the slot and couldn't get the puck to her. Now Olenek's got it right circle to Horning on the right wing board. She carries into the high slot. Tried to stick handle around a defender, and then it gets poked away from her by Skelly. And Skelly will dump that into the Yellow Jacket zone. Stevens Point will change personnel as Veda Roski circles the net. Roski carries that up the left wing. Roski across the Stevens Point line, left circle. A shot, glove save there by Grieg, and she'll hold it. And we'll get a face-off here in the Stevens Point zone with 3:01 remaining in the second period. Puck comes out to neutral ice. Yellow Jackets quickly regrouping, and Aislinn Carrick dumps it in. Yoakum for the Pointers. Passes it up ahead, and it's tipped down into the Yellow Jacket zone. Scooped up there by Taylor Marks. Tried to go around the right wing, and it was knocked down. Engbrecht for Stevens Point, then played it up to the point. It gets passed. Comes all the way back into the Stevens Point zone. Yoakum will start it ahead to center again across the Yellow Jacket line. Yoakum in the right circle. Centering pass is broken up by Gabby Olsen. Puck ends up left wing corner, Yellow Jacket zone. Olsen tried to move it up the boards, but that was going to get broken up. It's going to be flipped over into the right wing corner this time. Penalty coming. It's going to be on the Yellow Jackets here. So with exactly 2 minutes to go here in the second period, Stevens Point will get its first power play of the afternoon. It looks like it is going to be Gabby Olsen to the box. I feel like that penalty was a product of an extended shift. And the Yellow Jackets unable to get the line change that they needed. First power play for the Pointers. They come into the game at 19.6% on the power play, so they're very, very good when they have the extra skater on the ice. The Yellow Jacket penalty kill, 78.4%. Very key juncture of the hockey game here in these final 2 minutes of the period as the Pointers control it here. Yoakum at the left point. Gives to Polkamp in the left circle. Her shot's going to be deflected wide of the net. Maya Anderson will pick up the loose puck, and she'll clear that all the way down the ice. Back the other way now come the Pointers. Yoakum's pass broken up by Sherling. The puck comes into the Yellow Jacket zone, and they will clear. Polkamp will back it up. Leaves it for Torma. Torma over to the left wing. Across the Yellow Jacket line, Brits. She pulls up in the left corner. Gives it up to the left point for Ahern. Long shot tipped in front and goes wide. Ends up in the right wing corner. Now it comes back up at the right point. That shot hits traffic in front. Sherling able to poke that rebound that came up the slot to an area where she can clear, and she does. Yellow Jackets will change penalty killers here with 45 seconds to play in this second period. Carrying it ahead. Now a steal. Avery Olenek shorthanded into the Stevens Point zone. Feeds it across. Sherling fires, and the save is made by Grieg. She could have shot that just a hair quicker. We're talking tie game here in the final minute of the period. Taylor Marks for the Yellow Jackets. Gets it up to the line, but not out. Shot blocked at the blue line by Olenek. Control regained by the Yellow Jackets, and Taylor Marks will clear. Now a steal. Avery Olenek shorthanded. Tries to drive to the net. Gets knocked down on the play. It's going to be a penalty on the Pointers. And the Yellow Jackets are going to have a power play to start the third period as Avery Olenek got flattened with a check by Yoakum. So it's going to be a power, or going to be 4-on-4, I should say, for the final 2 seconds of the period. Before the Yellow Jackets will get a power play, so they will essentially have a full power play to start the third. Yoakum for body checking at 19:58. Face-off will be in the Stevens Point zone to Grieg's right. Clearing attempt held in by Gustafsson, who took the quick shot from the circle, and that one's going to be stopped. And then Riley Avalar flattening the Stevens Point player that came out to guard her. As the horn sounds, bringing the second period to a close. Very chaotic opening 2.5 minutes. After Stevens Point tied things up in the final minute of this first period, they took the lead just over a minute into the second. Yellow Jackets tied it 39 seconds later, and then Stevens Point would regain the lead 34 seconds after that. So all the scoring coming in the first 2.5 minutes. And we go to the locker room after 40 minutes. Yellow Jackets trailing Stevens Point 3-2. We'll take a quick timeout and come back with our second intermission, sponsored by Hovland Incorporated. We'll have my conversation with Chris Sugar from D3 Hockey News. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network.
First intermission, and as always, the first intermission is sponsored by Hovland Incorporated, and it is time for our latest installment of Talking D3 Hockey with our friend Chris Sugar from the D3 Hockey News. And it's been a few weeks since we've had the opportunity to connect, and some things, I guess, kind of starting to fall into place in the D3 hockey world as bracketology is coming into its time of year. And Let's talk a little bit about that on both the women's side and the men's side, starting with the women's side. What are we starting to see as we get into February and the stretch drive of the D3 season is upon us?
Well, let's get it back on, John, again. I think with bracketology, I mean, you're seeing the MPI, it is different this year, I think, because we see more. We've been used to kind of the NESCAC owning it, however you want to call it, the past couple of years. And now I think, since they haven't performed the way they usually do in the non-conference, which is very good, they haven't had their top teams have still done pretty good. I mean, obviously Amherst had the win over Adrian, and Middlebury's still doing their thing. But with Middlebury losing to teams like such as Endicott, who's a solid opponent, but regardless, they're still lost in the non-conference. And then you see the middle to the bottom of that league not necessarily dominating or doing good as we usually see in the non-conference, where we now sort of get that MIAC and WIAC effect or the WIAC, as I learned, some call it out there. However you do, I'll go with that.
We'll go with WIAC. It's fine.
Okay, perfect, because I've heard it many ways, and I'm just trying to get an answer. But no, I think it's good, though, that we see teams like Hamlin or an Augsburg really making that charge. I think they should be higher in the MPI. I think Nazareth is a team where it's going to be irrelevant because they're going to win that league anyway. So wherever they are, it doesn't matter. In terms of bracketology, I mean, seeding, of course it would, but it just in terms of tournament spots, they're irrelevant because there's no world, I don't think, where they don't win the league. If they do lose to Elmira, I think it drops them far enough just because their schedule is so weak where I don't know if they stay there. So, there is that small world where they don't win it, but I think any loss is going to hurt them too much. I think Norwich is a wild card. They're going to take up an at-large bid, which there are extras this year because we don't have one in the Little East. So I think Norwich is a team to look at because currently they have nothing left in the way of them. Their last tough test was Amherst, and they beat them quite handily. Unless they really have a slip-up in the Little East. Even if they do have a slip-up, I still think they're in the tournament just because they have that Amherst win and some other really good wins, and their losses aren't bad either. So that's a team I think is going to be taking up a spot, and I think, and to go out your way, I mean, I think one of the wild cards would be Concordia, Wisconsin. They're winning hockey games. I mean, they haven't played. They're playing who's on the schedule. St. Norbert, they're not really what I think a lot thought they could have been or would have been this season, but I'm not taking anything away from them. They still won the games that usually don't go their way against the Green Knights. So Concordia is a team that, I think it's a given. You're going to have to win the NCHA. I don't think that league isn't good enough to have more than one bid between them and Adrian, but they're a team I think would be fun just to see how they do against Adrian, then potentially an NCAA tournament. So that's one I didn't really see. I didn't think they'd be bad, but I didn't think they'd be 17-1-1 at this point. So it's just cool seeing the MPI kind of, it looks a little different than it has in past years, especially with, I think, last thing, a team like a Colby at a 10-4. I think in previous years when that strength of schedule rating would potentially be, currently say a top 10, top 8, right now it's 17. You see Colby down at 12 when usually if they have a record of 10-4, there's no way they're outside of the top 10. I don't think in NPI. So I think that's just a little bit of the difference this year where their strength of schedule isn't exactly, I don't want to say inflating, but making everybody higher than what they normally would be.
A year ago, we had a conversation right around this time, and we were looking at River Falls, who was number 1 in the country. They were defending national champions. And basically, they were on the outside looking in with regard to the NPI. And you look at them now this year, 18-1, 2-time defending national champions, still number 1 in the country. But you use the word slip up, and if they have a slip up in here, you could be looking at a team that has 2 losses and potentially not getting in because the WIAC doesn't have that qualifier.
Yeah, I mean, potentially. I think for them, it just depends who you do it against. I mean, looking at who they got, no offense since I'm on the Superior broadcast here, but if they were to lose to Superior, that's probably going to hurt them pretty bad. With the way things have gone so far for them. If they lose to Superior, they're not dropping out of it, but you're going to need to do pretty good against Eau Claire the rest of the way. But what I think helps them, though, is they do have for the non-conference, they have that crossover, which I think does help them. And with Endicott doing, I believe they played Endicott. Yes, with Endicott doing as good as they did against, say, Middlebury, you've got that win in there. You've got the Plattsburgh win in. You've got the sweep of St. Norbert, or the 1-1, I should say. And then the loss to Eau Claire, I mean, Eau Claire has that win over Hamlin, I think. So it's one of those where if they're going to lose, I mean, I just don't think they're going to drop that severely just because a team, like Norwich doesn't exactly have a dominant schedule and they have the losses to Plattsburgh and Williams. If they lost to a team like an Eau Claire, I don't see why they would drop too bad. I mean, because if they lose to Eau Claire, it helps them in a sense because they're everybody's best win. You give Eau Claire a good win, it's in the WIAC. It's not going to help you, but it's kind of like, okay, subtract 10 but add 3, if you want to call it that, as like an insurance policy. Versus if you went and lost to Plattsburgh, it's kind of like just a complete negative. So I think I think River's safe. I think this year, especially with the NESCAC having the less weight and with the WIAC the way it is, I think they're fine. And Eau Claire is the team that if they're going to want a spot, they're going to need to beat River probably 2 more times. I think at least.
Let's flip over to the men's side. And, you're talking about, again, the NCHA where you've got 3 teams in the top 9 in the NPI. And that's going to be an absolute meat grinder getting through the rest of the regular season and the postseason.
Yeah, the NCHA, I think, would be I said this for the week, it'd be a travesty if they get like one team in versus because that's how it was looking originally. Like Salve Regina, like I didn't think there was Salve wasn't too thrilled with me with what I was saying about their schedule, but to give them some credit, I actually will, because a team decided to top them in terms of making a worst possible non-conference schedule, and that would be Chatham. I didn't think it was possible, but apparently it is, to have an even worse schedule than Salve this season, because at least Salve decided to schedule somebody who's within the top 60 or 70, mind you, in the non-conference.
I don't mean to laugh, but I mean, Salve's strength of schedule is 86, and Chatham is 89. Right.
Well, yeah, correct.
And there's 91 teams.
That's correct, because I put out a tweet that was about Chatham's schedule, their non-conference. The win percentage or something, if you include each team as its own entity, like obviously if you play the same team, I'm counting it twice because it's 2 individual games that you could have scheduled somebody else.
Right.
Their total win percentage a month ago was, I think, 19% or something and it's gone down even more because that didn't include another game against Hiram. So I hope you had fun beating them 40-2, but I don't understand. I didn't think it could get any worse, and then easily it did. The only thing with Chatham is they've got Geneseo this weekend, and they're not a bad hockey team. Like, that's something, when you say somebody's schedule isn't good, they automatically think, oh, you're calling them a bad hockey team. It's like, no, that's not what I'm saying. But the point is, you just haven't, like, if you are a skilled hockey team, go play other quality opponents. Like, why are you playing these teams that, no offense to them, just aren't ready yet for that, for a team of your caliber? So, I'm glad they're 12 just because at one point they were ahead of St. Norbert, which I thought was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And again, St. Norbert's had a couple slip-ups this year, but you're playing the team. Like, you're going to the Stevens Points for those Tuesday night games. You're playing the St. Olafs of the world.
Yeah, they're not hiding from anybody.
No, like Tim Coughlin, I'm sure, isn't thinking in the preseason, like, oh, boy, I got to get a couple, free ones in there. Like, they don't have any of those. So, that's where I think with Chatham, they're a team, there's no world they get an at-large bid unless they went and Geneseo's been struggling. The wins over Geneseo aren't going to mean as much as I think they will.
Mm-hmm.
I think they think once they beat Geneseo, it's kind of free reign. It's like, well, no. Geneseo's been struggling, and I think they're 11-6-1. It's like, you're going to need to go beat Utica, which – there's they play at Utica for 2 games, which is a whole different animal. And I just think that's one of the biggest stories is, like, this year we see teams in the low 80s or high 80s, whichever way of the aisle you want to look at it, that high in the NPI. So it's not that I don't want – it's not that I don't like either of them, that I don't want them in. It's just I don't believe you should have that bad of a schedule, especially as an independent, and not get in when you've got a team like, use Adrian, you play Aurora 4 times, you play all in the 2 in the non-conference, and it's like, what was your – you can't take conference teams off your schedule. Like, you can't just handpick your opponents. So I think it's just interesting just to see the teams with that kind of schedule rating have the potential to be this high.
Good stuff as always, my friend. We'll let this one lie where it is, and when we do this again, let's dive a little bit deeper into a couple of these teams that I'm sitting here looking at. A Hobart, for example, still unbeaten, and is anybody going to beat them? So let's save that for the next time around. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
As Chris Sugar from D3 Hockey News, we'll take a quick timeout and come back with more of our intermission right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior.
It's our second intermission. The second intermission, as always, is sponsored by Hovland Incorporated. Still about 2 minutes away from the start of the third period here at Westman Arena. Yellow Jacket women trailing Stevens Point 3-2 after 2. It was a tie game after 1. Addison Fee at 11:21 of the first period made it a 1-0 game. Stevens Point tying it with 21 seconds to go in the first. Natalie Ahern's 5th of the season. They would take the lead at 1:08 of the second period. It says Avery Engbrecht getting credit for the goal. And she took the initial shot that was redirected in front. I thought Claire Riestenberg redirected that. She led the celebration train up the bench. That's typically the person who scores the goal is the first one to go and slap the fives on everybody else on the bench. But they gave the goal to Engbrecht, so maybe I did misread that. Assists would be Riestenberg and Skylar Arneson. That was 1:08 into the second period, and the Yellow Jackets were down 2-1. 39 seconds later, however, they drew even at 1:47. First goal of the season from Ella Horning. She took a shot from the high slot that went off a defender and in. No, that's not the goal. Check that. It was the she took the shot from the high slot that got underneath the goaltender's pads and in. For her first, Kasha Kovala had the assist. They originally had said Avery Olenek, but Kasha Kovala credited with the assist on that one. That was at 1:47 to tie the game at 2, and then Maddie Anderle scoring her 5th of the season at 2:21. A failed clearing attempt by the Yellow Jackets resulted in odd numbers for the Pointers down near the Yellow Jacket goal crease, and Anderle getting it home for her 5th to make it 3-2, and that's where we stand. Shots in the second period, Stevens Point 14, two-period total 26. The Yellow Jackets 9, two-period total of 14. Yellow Jackets on the power play to start this third period. It is our second power play of the game, and as always, the power play sponsored by Superior Water, Light, and Power. Clean, reliable, Superior. That is SWLP. The Yellow Jackets controlling the opening face-off. Anna Scherling, who had a point-blank opportunity, also hit a crossbar in that second period. Excuse me. Carries the puck down behind the net. Now has it in the high slot. Horning right circle. High slot. Scherling takes the shot. Tipped in front, and then ends up in the left corner. Taylor Marks picks up the puck there. Leaves it for Gustafson. Now Marks again. Takes a shot. It's tipped and goes off the post. Rebound was loose there, and finally it's going to be covered by Grieg. And we're going to get a face-off in the Stevens Point zone, but a golden opportunity there as Taylor Marks took the shot that was tipped in front, and it hits the post. Second time this afternoon the Yellow Jackets have rang the iron. Jackets win the draw. Right circle. Horning takes the shot. It gets blocked. Scherling at the right point. Down to Gustafson, right corner. Horning on the right half board up top from Marks. In the high slot, Scherling. Right circle. Horning one-timer. She fanned on that, and it goes wide. On the left wing boards, Taylor Marks. Marks. Down to the left corner for Gustafson. Back to Marks. Now up top, Horning in the high slot. Scherling has it right circle. Tried to feather that one through. It got broken up. Does get it through now. Marks on the backhand, and she pushes that one through the goal crease. 45 seconds left in the power play for the Yellow Jackets. Horning pushes it toward the front of the net, but Stevens Point will send that one all the way down. Yellow Jackets will change. Then Moyer's pass is going to miss everybody and come the distance, and that's going to be icing. Great opportunities for the Yellow Jackets there. One off the post, and then Taylor Marks had a goaltender down and out and ended up pushing the puck through the goal crease and into the right wing corner. 30 seconds left in the power play here as Taylor Marks has it behind the Yellow Jacket net. Leaves it for Olenek. She drew this penalty late in the second period, and now she carries to center. Cuts all the way over to the left wing. Olenek now moves behind the Stevens Point net. Pushes it up the right wing board. Now up to the right point for Steiner. Back to the right circle. Olenek up top, Steiner. Fee in the left circle, back up for Steiner. Takes the wrist shot that's going to go wide. The carom off the end board picked up by Polkamp. She'll throw that one ahead at center for Rickley. Rickley sends it into the Yellow Jacket zone as the penalized player is back on. So we are back to 5-on-5 hockey. Yellow Jackets 0 for 2 on the power play this afternoon. Addison Fee into the middle for Eiley Dahl. Dahl for the Yellow Jackets across the line, takes a long shot, and the save is made. Grigg directs that into the right wing corner. Now it's going to be played back the other direction. Engbrecht across the Yellow Jacket line, pushes it to the right corner. It comes behind the net where Bugas takes it back. Now she turns it over right on the doorstep. A shot, and the save is made by Moyer. As Rickley picked the pocket of the Yellow Jacket and put it right on net. Now back the other way, Maya Anderson centers it just out of the reach of Gustafson, who catches up to it in the left wing corner. Gustafson now for Parnell. She's got it behind the Stevens Point net. Carries to the right corner. Passes it up top to Avalar. That one gets through and hits the outside of the net. Maya Anderson again for the Yellow Jackets. Goes the other direction to the left side. Gustafson tying up with Torma behind the net. Parnell in there digging away for the loose puck. It's going to be worked loose into the left corner. Gustafson, now she's pinned to the end board once again. Parnell comes out with it, runs into a defender, loses the puck. It comes to the left circle. And Veda Roski will put a shot in on goal. The save made by Emily Grigg, and she will hold on. Face-off coming here in the Stevens Point zone to the right of Grigg. Jackets win the draw. Roski left point takes the shot. It misses wide. Puck is going to come out into the neutral zone. Roski gets it back here for the Yellow Jackets. Moves it ahead. Kovala, she comes across the line. Kasha Kovala right wing side. Sends it behind the Stevens Point net. Gathered up there by Neist. Yellow Jackets break it up. Kovala again. Drops it off. Horning with a shot from the left circle. Save made. A wraparound attempt right side of the net is broken up. Now it's loose in the slot. Olenek up top. Avalar right point. Left point. Roski walks, fires, and the save is made. Grigg will hold on. Yellow Jackets continuing to apply pressure here in the offensive zone. Already 3 shots on goal here in the early stages of the third period. Not to mention one that rang off the post. On the left wing boards, Fee for the Yellow Jackets had it, then lost it. Sherling in there as well. Puck is worked loose. Played up to the blue line, and that's going to go off the stick of Jenna Britz and come all the way back down in the Yellow Jacket zone. Carrick picks it up there. Went up the right side for Gustafson, who tried to just redirect that one, but it's intercepted and played back into the Yellow Jacket zone. On the right wing boards, Gustafson. Her clearing attempt doesn't go. Carrick does clear, and now the pointers are going to be whistled for an offside. 15-19 remaining here in this third period. Stevens Point leading 3-2. First game of a hockey doubleheader here on 91.3 KUWS. Game number 2 coming your way. 7:05 face-off, 6:30 pregame show. As the Yellow Jacket men look to pick up 3 points in the WIAC standings. Taking on Stout. Working her way through the defense was Eiley Dahl, and her shot from between the circles misses just high and wide, and the pointers will clear that back out into the neutral zone. Stacy Steiner for the Yellow Jackets carries it ahead, picks up speed as she comes up the right wing across the Yellow Jacket line. Steiner has it along the end board. Stevens Point line, not the Yellow Jacket line. And that's going to get away from Ashton Parnell and come out into the neutral zone. Yellow Jackets are going to be forced to regroup. Parnell tips that one ahead. Broken up at the Stevens Point line, and the Yellow Jackets will regroup once again. Bugas gives it to Parnell. Now out on the right wing, Olenek left it for Horning, but that's picked off, and back the other way now come the pointers. Anderle up the left wing. Throws that one in front. It's going to come all the way up to the right point. Neist has it there. Gianna Neist has it poked off her stick. It comes to the line, but Stevens Point able to hold. Now Bugas has it again for the Yellow Jackets here. She'll fling it over to the right wing. Horning gets it, sidesteps a D, and plays it into the Stevens Point zone. Had a little too much on that, however. And that's going to be icing on the Yellow Jackets. Bringing the face-off all the way back down to the right of Jada Moyer. 14 minutes remaining here in this third period. Stevens Point with a 3-2 lead. Avalar's got it for the Yellow Jackets here. She's pinned to the boards in the left wing corner. Kovala in there to help out. Skelly now for Stevens Point, pinned to the boards. It gets past Skylar Arneson at the left point and comes all the way down. Grieg out of the net. Sends that one ahead. Now here's a steal. Fee in the slot. Takes the shot, and the save is made by Grieg. She'll hang on. Stevens Point getting a little careless in its own zone. Threw that one right up the slot. Excuse me. Intercepted by Addison Fee, who's had a good game here this afternoon. Jackets win the faceoff again. Carrick from the right point. Her shot hits traffic. Rebound shot Sherling, and a stick save made by Grieg. Jackets push it down into the right wing corner. Now it comes up to the left point. Marks pokes it down the wall for Sherling, who's tied up. Marks gets it back in the left circle. She'll get it on the backhand and push it back behind the net. Gustafson has the puck get away from her. Now it comes back to her in the right wing corner. Fee in there as well. Stevens Point will take control here, and it's going to be moved to neutral ice by Rickley. Puck gets across the Yellow Jacket line. As taken down there is Riestenberg. Jackets dodge a bullet because that probably should have been a penalty call. Now Sherling back the other way, working through traffic. Sherling left circle, loses it at the last minute. And Stevens Point will regain control. Anderle in her own zone. Jackets with the steal now. Marks had it in the high slot. It was poke checked off her stick, and the Stevens Point will dump it back into Yellow Jacket territory. 12 and a half minutes to go here, third period, 3-2 Stevens Point. Along the end board behind the Yellow Jacket net, it's worked free. Centering pass comes all the way up to the left point. Shot gets through. Moyer the save, and she'll hold on. Face-off coming here in the Yellow Jacket zone. Jackets have had the better of the play here in the third period. They had that opportunity on the power play as well, but we remain down a goal. Eiley Dahl on the right wing has it for the Jackets, carries to center, crosses the red, and lets one go. It'll bounce to the left corner where Roski picks it up. Then she's knocked off her skates, and that's going to be a penalty on Stevens Point as they take down Veda Roski in the left wing corner, and the Yellow Jackets are going to go to the power play once again. 8:04 will be the time of the penalty. I assume body checking will be the call. Gianna Neist to the penalty box. Third power play for the Yellow Jackets. They're 0 for 2. Had some great looks on the last one. Power play sponsored by Superior Water, Light, and Power. Clean, reliable, Superior. That's SWLP. Torma comes out from behind her net for Stevens Point and clears that one all the way down. Ahern giving chase for Stevens Point. Gets there and throws it to the front of the net. Moyer gets a stick on that and then is forced to cover it up, and we'll have a face-off here in the Yellow Jacket zone. Horning carries it, dishes it off on the left side for Anderson. Now to Sherling. She carries across the Stevens Point line. Sherling down to the left wing corner. Now Sherling behind the net to the right wing side. Comes out with it right circle. Up top, left point, Horning winds and fires. That's blocked. And it's going to get sent all the way down. Hello, Horning's got to be a little more patient there. You've got the defender closing in on you. Fake the shot, go around them or something, but don't just try to power it through them. The laws of physics won't allow that puck to get through. Down to the right wing corner and behind the net, Horning for the Yellow Jackets. Onto the left side, Gustafson. Horning, left wing corner. Left half board, Gustafson gets to the circle and fires. That gets blocked. Now the puck loose behind the net. Kovala gets there for the Yellow Jackets. Gets it over to the left wing corner. Now up the left board. Kovala into the high slot. Sherling, top of the right circle, takes the shot. That catches traffic in front. Loose puck into between the circles. Sherling again takes a shot. It gets through, and a glove save made by Grieg. 41 seconds remaining in the Yellow Jacket power play. 10:37 to go here in the third period. 3-2 Stevens Point. Eiley Dahl working for the puck in the right corner. Gets it to Olenek. Now all the way up Steiner, top of the left circle. She'll bank it off the boards behind the net. Fee. Torma the first one there, however, and she's going to get it to the line. Held in by Steiner. It's a good thing because if it got past her, it was a 2-on-0 the other way. Fee top of the right circle. Steiner from the line. A one-timer. That just misses wide to the left. Now Olenek coming out of the right corner. Over to Fee, left circle. A shot. It gets blocked. Olenek again with 5 left in the power play. Gives it to Fee at the top of the left circle. Now back over to the right side. Steiner. She'll circle away from the checker. Penalized player back on. So 5 skaters apiece here. With under 10 minutes to go in the third period. Jackets trailing 3-2. Addison Fee along the end boards. Centers that, and it's going to come in on goal. Covered up there by Grieg. The face-off coming here in Stevens Point territory. Get the same gear the Yellow Jackets wear by visiting the Yellow Jackets sideline store. I already did that one, didn't I? Let's try the other one. Have you downloaded Swarm Central, the official rewards and loyalty app of the Yellow Jackets? Get started and receive 200 points just for registering, 200 more for downloading the app. Add points by attending games and uploading photos to the Crowd Cameo. Redeem your points in the Swarm Central store where you can get t-shirts, coffee mugs, playing cards, stickers, and more. Find Swarm Central in the Apple and Google stores today. Same 2 teams here tomorrow afternoon at Westman Arena. 2 o'clock face-off, 1:45 pregame show. That game will be live on Yellow Jacket TV and 91.3 KUWS. Not just the audio stream, but also over the air. This one only on the audio stream. But tomorrow afternoon, it'll be live on the air. Another hockey doubleheader tomorrow. So a lot of hockey on these vocal cords over the next 24 plus hours. Puck in the left wing corner, Stevens Point zone. Maya Anderson has it in her skates. Parnell in to help out, but Stevens Point will dig it free. Grace Torma now gets it to the line. Bouncing puck knocked down. Yellow Jackets dump it back in. Pointers dump it back out. Bugas for the Yellow Jackets up the left wing, and Maya Anderson tips it into the Stevens Point zone. Now Stevens Point will play it right back the other way. Steiner tried to go after it and blew a tire. Parnell able to recover. Passes it ahead for Eiley Dahl on the right wing. She pokes it past the defense. Dahl now up the right side. Dahl across the line takes the shot. It never does get to the goal as it was intercepted. Now behind the net, Parnell's got it on the left wing side. Throws it deep. Fee falls down. And Stevens Point will come to center with it here. Jenna Britz crosses the red and dumps it in. Veda Roski's got it behind her net, and she'll start up ice with it here. Roski for the Yellow Jackets up the left wing. Into the Stevens Point zone. Carries to the corner. Throws it in on net. The save made. Rebound directed to the left corner. Coming out from behind the net now, Pouchnick for Stevens Point. Gets it up the left wing. Jackets intercept. Fee feeds into the slot for Sherling, who gets knocked off her skates. And Stevens Point back the other way. Pouchnick across the red line. She'll dump it in. They clear that one out into the neutral zone. Comes right back to the Yellow Jacket blue line. Roski tried to skate through the defenders, but has it poked off her stick now. Engbrecht with a shot from the right circle. That doesn't get to the net. And Addison Fee back the other way. The Yellow Jackets come to center 2-on-2. Fee and Gustafson. Fee peels off for a change and dumps it in. Gustafson chases it down along the end board. Coming out with it for the Pointers is Regan. Now a turnover right on the doorstep. Gustafson mishandles right at the top of the goal crease. Taylor Marks, left wing corner. Taylor Marks works it out front, and it's poked off her stick. Jackets get it back on the left side. This is Olenk trying to settle the bouncing puck down. Cleared out to the neutral zone. Horning regaining control for the Yellow Jackets. Ella Horning now across the line. Has it left circle, takes the shot, save made by Grieg. Centering pass is broken up by Grieg as well. It comes loose left circle. Marks takes the shot, she whiffed on it. Gets blocked. I think she was trying to decide, do I shoot where I pass? She did a little of both. The puck never does get to the net, and the Stevens Point will play it back the other way. Left wing corner, Yellow Jacket zone. Hazelyn Carrick has it behind the goal. She gets upended and loses the puck. It comes loose at the right side of the net, and Jada Moyer will cover that up. And we're going to get a face-off here in the Yellow Jacket zone with 6:38 remaining here in this third period. Shots 34-29 Yellow Jackets, but they trail 3-2. Long shot comes in from the right circle, and that's going to miss wide of the goal. Jackets get it to the line, but not out. Good job holding things by Yoakum at the left point, and had actually two Yellow Jacket forwards go past her. Gave the Pointers numbers down low, but the Jackets able to recover, and Parnell clears it ahead. At the blue line, it's dumped in by Maya Anderson. Yoakum's got it for Stevens Point, spins her way out of trouble, and it's moved ahead on the left wing to Jenna Britz, who sends it back the other way. It's going to come all the way down. And with exactly 6 minutes to play here in the third period, it's an icing call on Stevens Point. Quick shot off the face-off by Addison Fee, and Grieg makes another save. Clearing attempt held in momentarily by Avalar at the right point. Now the puck will come all the way back into the Yellow Jacket zone. Carried here by Roski. She flips it to Stevens Point territory. Icing's going to be waved off. So Grieg will drop down and cover that one up. Jackets win the face-off again. Roski down the left board for Fee. Fee works it loose. Gives it down low again. Now Fee gets it back left circle. Throws it into the high slot. Not exactly sure what she was trying to do there. Whether it was to go to Avalar or to Sherling in the slot. But it's tipped out to neutral ice. Yellow Jackets come back on the attack. And we're going to get a stoppage in play as the Pointers play the puck with a high stick. So the face-off will be to the left of goaltender Emily Grieg. Jackets win another face-off. Horning right circle takes a shot that's going to miss wide. Pouchnick for the Pointers. Moves that one up the left wing boards and down into the Yellow Jacket zone. Behind the net, Marks. Over to the left wing boards for Olenek. Pass at center intended for a Horning. That's not going to connect, and it's going to come all the way down, and that'll be icing on the Yellow Jackets. Tough pass for Horning to try to catch because she was engaged with the defender. Now a quick shot off the faceoff comes in on net. The save made by Moyer. Rebound steered aside. Pointers pick it up on the left or the right side, Yellow Jackets get it back. Steiner up on the left wing, and now the Jackets back the other way. Ella Horning one-on-one across the Stevens Point line. Drags it into her forehand, but it's poke checked off her stick. It's going to get cleared back out to the neutral zone. 4.5 minutes to play, third period. 3-2 Stevens Point. Now a long shot taken from the high slot by Maya Anderson goes wide. For the Pointers, Ahern carries behind the net and circles out with it now. She's going to pick up speed to center. Nowhere for her to go, so she backtracks it into her own zone. Nearly lost it to Ashton Parnell. But now the Pointers back the other way. This is Polkamp across the Yellow Jacket line. Gets around one, then loses it at the last second. Gets it back. Centering pass out front. That shot goes off the headgear of Moyer. And we got a penalty coming on the Yellow Jackets here. Shot tipped in front. Moyer the save. She'll cover. And what an inopportune time to take a penalty here with just 3:52 remaining. You could kind of see it coming because Polkamp was trying to pull away. And they got the stick in on her, and it's going to be Maya Anderson going to the box for hooking at 16:08 of the third period. Second power play for Stevens Point. So this is a tricky one here. Jackets down a goal, just under 4 minutes to go, and they're going to spend half of that on the PK. They win the faceoff, but Olenek has it poked off her stick. From the line, Yoakum a shot, it's tipped in front. Avalar picks up the loose puck behind the net, and she'll send that all the way down the ice. Now behind the goal for Stevens Point. Yoakum will set up shop. Olenek watches her as Yoakum passes it to the right wing. Now Yoakum gets it back. She crosses the Yellow Jacket line, drops that one off at the blue line. The D-to-D pass, broken up with the stick by Avery Olenek, and Anna Sherling back the other way shorthanded. She pokes it down behind the goal and continues her pursuit, nearly causing the turnover behind the net. She's had a good game today. Doesn't have any points, but she's been one of, if not the best, Yellow Jacket forward here this afternoon. Yoakum on the left wing boards. Passes it ahead with a minute to go in the power play. Parnell for the Yellow Jackets intercepts. That'll be sent all the way down the ice. Forcing another regroup. Torma comes out with it. Over to the right wing. Now back over to the left. Cutting to the middle is Rickley. Rickley carries to the left wing corner. Centering pass. Goes through the skates of Engbrecht. Yellow Jackets regain control and try to clear, and they'll get enough on that to get it out, as Ahern was a little too tired to get all the way to the boards and hold the zone. It's going to come all the way down. Ahern from behind her net. Her pass intercepted momentarily by Avery Olenek. Now it's played the other way. Comes all the way down, and that's going to be icing on Stevens Point. So good stick work there by Avery Olenek, the sophomore out of Thunder Bay, Ontario, forcing that icing. 13 seconds left in the minor penalty to Maya Anderson. 2:04 to play here in the third period. 3-2 Stevens Point. Jackets win the faceoff. Marks gives it over now for Avalar from the left point. Her shot blocked. Stevens Point clears it out into the neutral zone. Jackets dump it back in. Olenek continues her pressure down to the right wing corner. Penalized player back on, so really good penalty kill for the Yellow Jackets there. And we're back to 5 skaters apiece. For how long? I don't know. We'll keep an eye on Jada Moyer. Sherling for the Yellow Jackets has it on the right wing side. It's going to come back to the boards. Taylor Marks down to the right wing corner. Gustafson. Moyer makes her way to the bench. Marks from the right point, a shot that gets through. Grieg makes the save. Stevens Point to clear, held in by Marks at the right point. She drives it deep. Fee behind the net gets interfered with. Penalty coming on Stevens Point, as they're going to get Yoakum for cross-checking. I thought it might be interference. She immediately put her hands up like, please don't call that. But the officials do, and it's going to be a late power play here for the Yellow Jackets. Time of that penalty is 18:43. As Alyssa Yoakum goes for a cross-check, so 6-on-4 here for the Yellow Jackets. This is kind of that double-edged sword, because you've got 6 attackers on the ice compared to only 4 for Stevens Point. That's the good news. The bad news is they can shoot that puck 200 feet, or in Westman Arena's case, 197 feet, and not have to worry about icing or anything like that. So this is a really good opportunity for each club. Stevens Point to get that goal to salt things away. The Yellow Jackets to apply that pressure and hopefully draw even in what has been a really good game here this afternoon. Yellow Jackets have had the better of the play, especially in this third period. And now have a golden opportunity to pull even here and potentially send this thing to overtime. Again, same two teams here tomorrow. 2 o'clock face-off, 1:45 the pregame show. Be heard live on 91.3 KUWS and viewed live on Yellow Jacket TV. Yellow Jackets will come out of the timeout with Sherling, Parnell, Fee, Horning, Steiner, and Marks. 4 forwards and 2 defenders here. Face off to the left of Grieg, who's been very good between the pipes for Stevens Point. Jackets win the face-off. Sherling up to the left point, Marks. Over to the right point, Steiner. Back to Marks' left circle. Takes the shot. It goes over the top of the net. Sherling in the right wing corner. 6-on-4 for the Yellow Jackets here as Sherling leaves it at the right point for Steiner. Left circle now, Marks walks, fires, save made. Grieg, she scores! Ella Horning on the rebound, and we're tied. Or is it going to be Anna Sherling? My apologies. Anna Sherling led the celebration, so I believe she's going to get the goal. Time of the goal will be 19:03 of the third period. For Anna Sherling, that will be her 4th of the season. And for all intents and purposes, we're in overtime here as the Jackets win the faceoff.
For your Yellow Jackets on the power play was number 13, Anna Sherling. She was assisted on that goal by number 17, Ella Horning, and number 28, Ashton Parnell.
So Parnell and Horning get the assist on the goal by Sherling. Now the puck loose in the front of the Yellow Jacket net, and they're able to clear that one away from trouble. Addison Fee's got it. She turns it over. Jackets regain control and clear. Kendall Gustafson on the left side sends it to the Stevens Point line. 15 seconds to go here in the third. Back the other way come the Pointers up the left wing. Brits with a long shot that's going to go wide. Jackets regaining control. It's going to come back behind the net. Jackets turn it over here now. Centering pass in front, intercepted by Maya Anderson. She'll skate it into the left wing corner. And the buzzer will sound, bringing the third period to a conclusion. Jackets own the play in that third period, and it took them a long time, but they eventually do get the equalizer at 19:03. Anna Sherling's 4th of the season. She's been really, really good today, so I'm thrilled that she was able to score one here. And we'll send this game to overtime, all the more important because it gets the Yellow Jackets a point. Also gets Stevens Point a point. And we'll figure out who's going to get the additional point, either in overtime or the shootout. "12 shots in that third period for the Yellow Jackets. 3-period total of 36. 7 for Stevens Point. 3-period total of 33. So slightly different from what you see on the scoreboard, if you are seeing the board right now. Five-minute 3-on-3 overtime. If nobody scores in the extra session, we will go to a shootout. The game would go in the books as a tie, and we would go to a shootout. Excuse me. Yellow Jackets are 0-1-1 in overtime this season. Stevens Point, meanwhile, is 1-0. An overtime win coming on opening weekend, November 1st. A 2-1 win over St. Olaf on the road. Teams will switch ends. Or maybe they're not going to switch ends. Maybe that's only in the men's game where they switch ends. So 3-on-3 overtime here. The Yellow Jackets going with Addison Fee, Anna Sherling, and Taylor Marks. Sherling in to take the face-off for the Yellow Jackets against Riley Novak, and the Jackets control. Marks tried to poke it ahead past the defense. Gets driven back into Yellow Jacket territory. Sherling picks it up. She picks up speed up the left wing. Sherling gets around the D and she's in alone. Sherling goes to the forehand and loses it at the last second. Stick handle one too many times. You're going through an area that's got a lot of snow built up. Not able to get a shot away. Now behind the net, Sherling's got it. She comes out left side, feeds it up top. High slot, Addison Fee. Scored her first collegiate goal midway through the first period this afternoon. Fee carries it to the right circle, takes the shot, stick save made by Grieg, and she'll cover. Anna Sherling with a great rush up the left wing side. Picked up speed and drove it to the net. Tried to stick handle in tight, but unable to get the shot away. Jackets win the faceoff in the offensive zone. Avery Olenek on the right wing side. Carries it up to the blue line. Leaves it for Parnell on the right wing board. Now she's going to retreat to center ice. Passes over to the left wing boards where Roski's got it now. Veda Roski picking up speed. She overskates the puck. Loses the handle on it now, and it's going to be the Pointers coming back the other way. Anderle up the right wing. Knocked off the play. Polkamp's got it now for Stevens Point. Backing it up for Anderle. She's being pressured there by Avery Olenek. Now the Pointers come back on the attack. Molly Polkamp across the Yellow Jacket line on the left wing. Polkamp drops it up top. Pass down low intended for Polkamp, out of her reach. Now Polkamp centering feet out front, they score. From the end boards, Polkamp throws it in front to an uncovered Maddie Anderle. Second goal of the hockey game for her. And the Pointers will win it here today. Final score 4-3 in overtime. We'll take a timeout and come back with the postgame show sponsored by Synovus Energy and the Superior Refinery right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. Back here at Westman Arena, it's the Yellow Jacket Hockey postgame show sponsored by Synovus Energy and the Superior Refinery. Synovus Energy, we energize the world to make people's lives better. Yellow Jackets were able to have some last-minute heroics in regulation time to force the extra session, unfortunately. A misplay behind the Yellow Jacket net allowed the Pointers to center and get the eventual game-winning goal in overtime. They win it here today by a final of 4-3. Let's jump into our post-game summary. Yellow Jackets came out in a very strong first period. backtrack there. They had a strong game today. The Yellow Jackets played really, really well in this one here this afternoon. Had opportunities galore in this one. Hit a couple of posts. And had the best opportunity aside from the goal in the overtime. That came in that opening shift by Anna Scherling, but more on that a little bit later on. At any rate, the Jackets opening the scoring at 11:29 of the first period. First goal of the season, first collegiate goal for Addison Fee, as she was the recipient of a puck between the circles and was able to take a shot that got underneath the pads of goaltender Emily Grieg for her first. The assist going, where did my sheet go? To Gabby Olsen and Kendall Gustafson. And it was a 1-0 lead for the Yellow Jackets at 11:29 of the first. Did that play, Gus? Addison's Fee's first of the season from Gabby Olsen and Kendall Gustafson made it a 1-0 lead for the Yellow Jackets. Stayed that way until the final minute of the period when the Yellow Jackets had an opportunity to clear the zone, but it couldn't. And at 19:39, the Pointers drawing even. Natalie Ahern's first goal of the season, or excuse me, not first goal, fifth goal of the season rather. But the Jackets couldn't get it out of the zone, and a centering pass to her. She buries it from point-blank range for her fifth. Alyssa Yoakum and Riley Novak got the assist. We were tied at 1 after 1. Shots on goal in the first period favoring the Yellow Jackets at 15-12. Early in the second period, Stevens Point would take the lead. The goal coming just 1 minute and 8 seconds in. First goal of the season for Avery Engbrecht. And I had originally said it was Riestenberg because she took the shot from the left circle, but it got through. That it got through and beat goaltender Jada Moyer, but they said it otherwise. Nobody corrected it, so we'll go with it. Just 1 minute 8 into the second period, Avery Engbrecht with a shot from the left circle that beat Jada Moyer, her first. Claire Riesenberg and Skylar Arneson got the assist. That was 1 minute and 8 in, and Stevens Point was ahead 2-1. And you go back to the end of the first period, the Jackets basically gave up 2 goals in 1 minute and 39 of gameplay. Jackets, however, wasted very little time in drawing even just 39 seconds later. Ella Horning scoring her first goal this season. Kasia Kovala getting the assist. It was at 1:47 as it was carried into the high slot by Horning. Got to about the top of the left circle and took a long shot through a lot of traffic, and it got between the pads of goaltender Emily Grieg. First of the season for Ella Horning. Jackets tie it up at 2. First of the season for Ella Horning from Kasia Kovala at 1:47, and the Yellow Jackets tied the game at 2. However, it didn't stay that way for very long, as at 2:21, so a whopping 34 seconds after the Jackets tie it, Maddie Anderle scores the goal again. Another opportunity for the Jackets to get the puck out of the zone where they couldn't. Pointers threw the puck in on net. Jackets kind of scrambling around a little bit to get that loose puck, but they couldn't. Anderle with a wraparound at the left side of the goal is able to get it across the line for her fifth. Riley Novak and Abby Skelly got the assists. 2:21 into the second period. Yellow Jackets were trailing 3-2. It'll stay that way through the end of the frame. Shots in the second period. Stevens Point had 14 for a 2-period total of 26. Yellow Jackets had just 9 for a 2-period total of 24. In the third period, the Yellow Jackets had the better of the play. They had the puck in the offensive zone almost the entire period. They were on the attack throughout. They had opportunities galore. Unfortunately, they weren't able to put anything home. Then they got a late power play, and that's when everything changed. Anna Scherling scoring her 4th goal of the season. It was a power play goal with the extra attacker on as well, so 6-on-4 in at that instance. Taylor Marks and Ella Horning got the assist. They originally had announced Parnell and Horning the assist, but they changed it to Marks and Horning, and that I think is probably the correct call. But at any rate, a big opportunity on the power play late, and the Yellow Jackets tied. Anna Scherling's 4th makes it 3-3. I thought you were trying to get in. I stand corrected. I said Ella Horning, but it was in fact Anna Scherling scoring on the power play. 19:03 of the third period the time, so just under 57 seconds to play, and we were tied at 3 and headed for the extra session. Yellow Jackets had the puck in the offensive zone for the bulk of that overtime period. They had the great opportunity early when Anna Scherling took the opening faceoff and carried down the left wing boards, got past that defender, and had an opportunity in tight. Unfortunately, I tried to stick handle a little bit too much when she got in tight. Lost it at the last second, and the puck ends up coming back down the other way. And with 1:29 gone in the overtime period, Molly Polkamp centers from behind the net, finds Anderle in front. She buries it on the stick side. Her second of the game, 6th of the year. Tara Regan also getting an assist, making the final score 4-3. Shots on goal in the third period and the overtime period. The Yellow Jackets had 13, giving them a game total of 37, while Stevens Point had 9, giving them a game total of 35. Penalties in the hockey game. Stevens Point taking 4 penalties for 8 minutes. Yellow Jackets taking 2 penalties for 4 minutes. On the power play, the Yellow Jackets go 1 for 4, and Stevens Point was 0 for 2. Emily Grieg made 34 saves in net for Stevens Point today. She will get the victory. Her record now stands at 5-4 on the season. At the other end, Jada Moyer finishing with 31 saves for the Yellow Jackets. Her record on the season drops to 0-12. With the victory, Stevens Point is now 11-11-0 overall, 5-4 in the WIAC. The Yellow Jackets fall to 1-20-1, 1-8 in the WIAC. Yellow Jackets gaining a point, however, in the conference standings. Doesn't necessarily close the gap. In fact, the gap actually widening a little bit because the Pointers get that additional point. So they are sitting with 14 points while the Yellow Jackets have 4. So even no matter what happens the rest of the way for the Yellow Jackets, they cannot climb into third place. They will be relegated to either 4th or 5th place in the conference standings based on what has transpired here this afternoon. Final score here again tonight. Stevens Point with a 4-3 victory in overtime over the Yellow Jackets. We'll take one more break, come back and wrap it up from Westman Arena right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. Of the post-game show sponsored by Synovus Energy and Superior Refinery comes your way after a Yellow Jacket 4-3 loss in overtime to UW Stevens Point. Same 2 teams tomorrow afternoon here at Westman Arena, second game of their weekend series. More on that in a moment, but time now for our post-game show 3-star selection. Number 3-star tonight, we're going to give the Yellow Jacket freshman forward Addison Fee. Scored her first collegiate goal today. Had a very good opportunity late in the game as well. Seemed like she was always around the puck today, so she will be star number 3. The number 2 star today will be Yellow Jackets senior forward Anna Scherling. as she scored the tying goal in the final minute of regulation time, had that breakaway opportunity to start the overtime, hit a crossbar in the second period. She had a really strong hockey game today. I thought she was fantastic and was easily the Yellow Jacket best forward. She will be star number 2, and the number 1 star tonight is going to be Stevens Point forward. Where did my roster go? Where did my roster go? There it is. Sorry, folks. Number 1 star today will be Stevens Point forward, Maddie Anderle, who scored the 3rd and 4th goals today. That would mean she scored the go-ahead goal in the second period and the eventual game-winning goal in overtime. Also had an assist on the day, so a 3-point game for her, and she will be star number 1. Number 3, Addison Fee. Number 2, Anna Sherling. And the number 1 star, Maddie Anderle. As we mentioned, this is the first game of a hockey doubleheader here this afternoon. Game 2 will come at 7:05 this evening. It will be the face-off time, 6:30 pregame show as the Yellow Jacket men's hockey team plays host to UW Stout. Same 2 teams tomorrow afternoon here at Westman Arena. Game 2 of the weekend series between the Yellow Jackets and the Pointers. That'll be a 2 o'clock face-off and will be along live on 91.3 KUWS and Yellow Jacket TV with the pregame show at 1:45. Want to thank the Gus Bus back in the studios of KUWS Radio for kidding us and keeping us on the air here this afternoon. Also want to thank Bradley Lellis, our engineer on site with Yellow Jacket TV. For Gus and for Bradley, this is John Garver reminding you the final score here this afternoon. Stevens Point escapes with a 4-3 victory in overtime over the Yellow Jackets at Westman Arena. Thank you very much for tuning us in on this Friday afternoon, and we hope to have you with us again tomorrow for Game 2 of this weekend series. Until then, good night from Superior, Wisconsin.